Down in the South, it's believed that there are only 3 seasons of the year: spring, summer, and football season. So with summer about to wrap up, you know what that means: the return of high school football. Up next, it's BC Rain and LeFlore going head-to-head on the gridiron as we kick off another year of the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Good evening, and thanks for joining us. I'm Al Wheaton. Corey LeBounty with me. Down on the sidelines, we have Kimberly Dunn. And Corey, we've waited all year, and now it's here.
All summer long, these teams have been in sweat equity waiting for this moment, and it's here across the state of Alabama. Very excited to bring you the first high school action here from Lad Peoples Stadium between the LeFlore Rattlers and the BC Rain Red Raiders.
Absolutely, Corey. I've been waiting, and we finally made it here. It's absolutely great tonight. We're here at Lad Peoples Stadium, as you just said, ready to kick off the first game. And Corey, no better way to kick it off. Let's get over to your checklist. LeFlore is the home team, so what do you have on the checklist for LeFlore tonight?
It's simple for the LeFlore Rattlers tonight. They have to rattle the Red Raiders defensively and make sure that they're attacking the ball and making sure they're wrapping up also. They have to have prevention of penalties because that old dirty yellow rag does not need to come out early and often by the stripes tonight. And also they have to show that special teams have improved. The LeFlore Rattlers normally in the past haven't had that traditional kicker and have had to go for 2. Tonight, we'll see a new kicker for the Rattlers, possibly put it through the uprights for LeFlore.
All right, there's our checklist coming up right there. First game jitters, as you can see, but we're going to work it out. Corey, you just talked about prevention of penalties, but you know, importantly, the kicking game, something we're going to look out for. BC Rain is the visiting team. What do you have on your checklist for the Red Raiders, Corey?
Coach Cawley's in his first year as the Red Raider coach, taking over for Tellis Stone. They have to make sure they shrink the game, get off the field on 3rd down. They can't allow LeFlore to keep moving the sticks. That way it prevents dehydration, it prevents cramping, it allows the offense to rest. They have to play with consistency. Coach Cawley has been preaching about that on both sides of the football. Everybody has a job to do, and he expects them to do it for 4 quarters. And they have to withstand the rain, staying positive. When adversity hits, they don't want each other's heads to drop. They want to play the next play. And if there is a bad play, Al, they don't want to focus on that. They want to go ahead and look forward to having positive things happen.
That's right, all positivity this year. As you just said, Red Raiders, right, with their new head coach, Rick Carlin. Let's take it down to the sidelines, check in with Kimberly Dunn, our first time this season. What's going on, Kimberly?
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to high school football. I am so happy to be back here at Lad Peoples Stadium, and everyone here tonight, from the coaches to the players to, yes, even me, is excited to be back here tonight. It feels great on the field. We couldn't ask for better weather conditions tonight. There's a slight breeze, as you can possibly see. The sun isn't shining in anyone's eyes, so it's a great night to play some football. I'm really excited to get this season started, and it's great that we have great conditions here tonight, because let me tell you, this BC Rain team has a lot of obstacles stacked up against them tonight. They are coming in this season with a new coach, inexperienced players. Out of the players on the field tonight, 25 of them have never played high school football before. And then they also have a few injuries coming into this season. One linebacker has a tore ACL, and their starting quarterback has an injured shoulder, so he will not be playing tonight. So I hope that everything works out for BC Rain, and I'm just excited for both of these teams to come out tonight and play some great football.
You're right about that, Kim. We are looking for some great football action. BC Rain won the toss, and they are going to receive the ball. Back to receive for the Red Raiders, Deshaun Golston, Kendrell Davis, and Marquez Curtis. Corey, you just talked about LeFlore in that kicking game, handling those kicking and punting duties tonight. Ricky Williams, as we are moments away from the 2018 high school football season, and it's off with a bang. Take about one of the up guys right there for the Red Raiders. Get some good yardage up to about the 44-yard line.
Tyler Mixon, the up back, catches the football and takes it upfield for the Red Raiders. And now the Red Raiders will have 1st down, and we'll get an opportunity to see Rick Cawley, his very unique offense. He runs a single wing offense. He took the job as of May 25th, which is a fairly late start. Over the summertime, they really didn't have an opportunity to have a great conditioning program. They played a little 7-on-7 football, but to make matters worse for them tonight, Al, their starting quarterback isn't here.
As look at the Red Reigning starters right there. Cliff Powell, late game scratch. Starting tonight is Victor Lopez, 5'8", 168 sophomore. This is his first ever high school snap. Direct snap to Lopez, and he gets a couple yards there, getting close to the midfield stripe. And Corey, a first play of the season and our first flag of the season as well.
That's one of the things that you know happens early and often across the state of Alabama. You want to keep it clean, but Ron Coleman is going to have an opportunity to tell us what it's going to be.
Ron Coleman, our head referee tonight. Here are the rest of the officials there. Vincent Payton, David Howell, Michael Rogers, Carl McDowell, Jonathan King, and Brock Merritt. Later on, we'll talk about some changes this year for the Alabama High School Athletic Association. Speaking of officials and refereeing the game, instant replay course, and we'll talk about that later on.
Holding against the offense. Replay first down.
Those things can happen early in the season. Formation type situations, that one actually in the play there with some holding. So our first penalty, Corey, maybe we'll get off to a good start here. We saw the lineup earlier. The Red Raiders averaged 268 across the front line, and be on the lookout for Jonathan Williams. Very smart kid. We'll talk about him later on. There's a quick snap to Lopez, and he is wrapped up. Let's take a look at the LeFlore Rattlers defense for tonight. They averaged 233 across the front, and keep your eyes out for number 32, Derek Dugans. This guy's been playing ball since he was a freshman at LeFlore. And also Ricky Williams, back there, cornerback. He's going to do a lot of electric things for Coach Anthony Schamberger. And Christopher Holyfield, his name will come up later on. We'll talk about him with special teams. So right now, it is second down and long for the Red Raiders.
It's going to be about 2nd and 23, Al, 3-yard loss on that give by the quarterback for BC Rain. It's going to be interesting to see how they're able to attack the line of scrimmage.
Little quick handoff right there to Marquez Curtis, wrapped up near the line of scrimmage. They may give him credit for one. As we said, Red Raiders under veteran coach Rick Cawley, but it's a new start for everyone here for the BC Rain Red Raiders. Weather great today here in the Mobile area. We've had a little recent change with the humidity. 84 degrees, 61% humidity. It feels absolutely different now than it did yesterday, Corey.
And the good thing is it's a sunny evening for high school football. Earlier in the week we had a lot of rain, and the rain has gone away, so they won't have to worry about a slippery football tonight.
We'll call it 3rd and 19. Red Raiders trying to get the offense together. We talked about that last-minute scratch of Cliff Powell. He's been playing football since he was a freshman at BC Rain. So Victor Lopez gets the start tonight. That'll take the Red Raiders to 4th down. We'll get our first look at the LeFlore offense coming up here shortly.
Marquez Tatum, the 6'3", 250-pound senior for the LeFlore Rattlers, steps up and makes that tackle, and now it's going to force, because of that first down penalty, 4th and long for the Red Raiders.
4th down and 19 for the Red Raiders.
Christopher Holyfield back to retrieve the punt for LeFlore. We talked about him earlier. Coach Schamberger had a chance to meet with him during the week. He said this kid is very exciting, so keep your eyes out on him. He ran 2 back for touchdowns last year, one against Spanish Fort and one against Robertsdale.
J. Allen Gray is also deep for the LeFlore Rattlers, and if he gets in the open field, you'll see his burst of speed, Al. So 2 great returners for LeFlore.
Timeout, white team.
So Coach Rick Cawley burns a timeout with 9:22 in the first quarter. While we have a break here, LeFlore hasn't taken possession, but we'll get a sneak peek on their starting lineup here. Quarterback Hezekiah Belfon, he's a sophomore, 6'2", 225. Last year in the first game of the season, broke his ankle, sat out the rest of the year, so he's very excited and raring to get going tonight. Marquez Tatum, left tackle, number 50. He's a 6'3", 250-pound senior. He also plays defensive tackle as well. Keep your eye out for him across the front line for the Rattlers. They average 266. So, Corey, they don't have the big line like they had last year blocking for DeJuan James, but still a lot of meat on the bone there for the Rattlers.
And the Rattlers are definitely going to miss DeJuan James, but you have to look at this 2018 season, and offensive coordinator and head coach Anthony Schamberger is excited about who he has running the show in Hezekiah Belfon.
Justin Ray with the punt for the Red Raiders gets it straight up, trying to get past the midfield stripe. Takes a little bounce there, and Holyfield backs off of it, so the Red Raiders are going to down that ball at the 40-yard line. Great field position for Coach Anthony Schamberger, entering his 7th season at LeFlore. So his Rattlers are setting up pretty good. Ball at their own 40, Corey.
Yeah, the Rattlers were 3-7 a year ago, and I just mentioned Anthony Schamberger is the offensive coordinator for the LeFlore Rattlers, and you'll have an opportunity now to see what kind of changes the Rattlers are going to make offensively with DeJuan James graduating.
You alluded to it earlier. They're going to try to open up the pass and attack. He told us they may be more of a 60-40 pass to run this season. So a new look for the LeFlore Rattlers. Man in motion here. Belfon hands off to the back, Javante Majors, and he gets a couple yards. Let's take a look at the Red Raiders defense, averaging 277 across their front. They play a 4-3. Keep your eyes out on Corey King, 6'2", 319 senior, trying to plug up the hole right there in the middle. But for the most part, an overall kind of young crew here at the Red Raiders, and they're looking to get some things back together this season down on the dip there. Second down for the Rattlers. Handoff back to Majors. Believe he's past the first down marker and past the midfield stripe, so that's a first down for the Rattlers, Corey.
Kamar Thompson on the stop for the Red Raiders, the 5'6", 200-pound junior. Positive game for the LeFlore Rattlers. That's something I know Coach Schamberger is very happy about. The Red Raider defense is led by first-year defensive coordinator Ben Jones. Ben Jones is leading this 4-3 defense for the Red Raiders. So let's see if they can get any pressure on Belfon early.
First and 10, just past the midfield stripe. We've yet to see Belfon throw one. Hand off to Majors again. He picks up about 5 or 6. Nice game for the Rattlers there. Belfon comes in at 6'2", 225. Nice big strapping young man. We had a chance to talk to him earlier this week, and he was excited to be getting back on the field, Corey.
He really was. I mean, you look at the atmosphere around this first high school football game. Everybody, now that they've taken their first hit, made their first pass, both teams have a possession, are going to kind of get each other and feel each other out.
Belfon decides to keep it on an RPO there, picks up the first down and some more, getting close to the 30-yard line. So as you can see, the Rattlers spreading this offense out this season, trying to catch you off guard a little bit and kind of mix it up some.
And early and often in this game so far, Al, BC Rain has failed to shrink the game. They said they want to hold LeFlore to 3 and outs and don't want to keep that defense on the field. Depth is definitely going to be a factor in tonight's contest.
We talked about the weather earlier, 84 degrees. We will still be observing heat timeouts. So at the first dead ball after 6 minutes in each quarter, the officials will call a timeout, let the kids get some extra water, kind of cool off a little bit there. So as we progress through the season, those heat timeouts will wrap up. Big run by the Rattlers. Majors, once again, they're continuing to feed him the rock. I'm sorry, that's Christopher Holyfield on that carry, Corey.
But one of the things you're seeing now is LeFlore is getting 2 and 3 and 4 yards per pop on first down, which makes the play calling a lot easier for Anthony Schamberger.
Penetrating that line of the Red Raiders defense. As we said, they're averaging 277 across the front there. Rattlers close to striking inside the red zone here. Ball on the 22-yard line. Belfon yet to attempt a pass this season. They're continuing to run the rock and met at the line by the Red Raiders and stopped.
Trent Odom on the carry for the LeFlore Rattlers, and Trent comes in at 5'9", 175 pounds. He's a sophomore, but even with that run, they were still able to pick up 3 yards.
Take a look at the replay. Great tackle here by the Red Raiders. Picked up a couple, as you said, but way to gang up in there. Keep those heads up as well. We've heard a lot about that in the NFL with helmet rules, so wait for the players to keep the head up. Second down and about 9. Only credited for 1. There's our first pass from Belfon, and he overthrows his receiver. Incomplete. Take the Rattlers a third down.
Miscommunication there between wide receiver DeAndre Petway. He's 6'4", so he's a hard target to miss. You look as Belfon drops back. It was going to be a jump ball situation, but the wrong route was run by Petway, and luckily that ball was not intercepted by the Red Raiders.
So third down for the Rattlers. I'm sorry to make that correction. 3rd and 7. They were credited with those 3 yards you talked about earlier, Corey. So LeFlore spreading it out, trips at the bottom, and Belfon here in the backfield takes a snap. Hands off to Christopher Holyfield. Trying to get outside the hash, maybe picks up 1 or 2 inside the red zone. That's not enough for the first down. So let's see if the Rattlers will be attempting a field goal. Coach Schamberger said getting points early in the game, but also special teams is very important. So we shall see what the Rattlers are going to come up with here. 4th and 7, ball on the Red Raiders 18-yard line.
I think they're going to go for it. That'll be a 36-yard field goal. That's a little bit beyond the comfort zone of Ricky Williams. But when you're in a situation now, you start on your own 40-yard line at this LeFlore Rattler drive, they're going to go for it all here on 4th down.
Majors in motion, goes to the top of the screen. Belfon looking to connect, does have a receiver in the end zone. Ball is bobbled. Had number 11, DeAndre Petway, just tried to connect with him earlier. He couldn't haul it in, so 4th down, turnover on downs, ball to the Red Raiders.
Yeah, the Red Raiders were able to hold defensively. As we take a look at this replay, as Hezekiah Belfon drops back, and it was pretty much a jump ball situation where you want to put your tallest and most athletic wide receiver in DeAndre Petway in a jump ball situation, but you want to keep the ball in bounds, which allows him to come down with possession of the football. If he would have caught it, he would have been out of bounds anyway.
Corey, the clock is at 5:39. I wonder if the officials will actually recognize the heat timeout. I believe they are. It appears as if referee Ron Coleman has sent both teams to the sideline. So we have our first heat timeout of the season right here. So far, interesting action between the Rattlers and the Red Raiders. LeFlore moving the ball down the field somewhat at will tonight.
Yeah, they were. They're able to get what they need on 1st and 2nd down, which is positive yards. They don't want to get behind the sticks, and that drive stalled almost within the red zone area because they were moving the football with a lot of success, Al, and they were able to do that running the football, something that we saw a lot of 1 year ago by Anthony Schamberger having that running back, Juwan James. But with the new crew now for the LeFlore Rattlers, you got a steady dose on that drive of Javonte Major, also Trent Oldham and Chris Holyfield.
Sure did. It was running back by committee. They ran it very well, getting that ball up and down the field. If you're Coach Rick Carley, what are you talking to your team about right there? That first possession wasn't the best, and we know it was a young man, Victor Lopez, his first time behind center.
Offensively right here, you definitely need to pick up 1st downs, because if you can pick up 1st downs, it allows your defense to get a little bit of rest. And a lot of these players are playing both ways for these teams tonight, and it can take its toll. So on this 2nd drive of the game, you want to try to move the sticks if you're the Red Raiders.
One thing about it, it's 5:39, and BC Rain has only touched the ball for their 2nd time. But out in the open on the move, Deshaun Golston with that direct snap, and he gets a 1st down all the way up to about the 46-yard line. Great run by the Red Raiders.
And that's an outstanding run. That's what you wanted to see. You look at Golston being able to bounce to the outside and shred a tackle, and then he just turns on that burst of speed and is able to move the sticks. That's exactly what Rick Carley and this offense needed. First-year offensive coordinator John Williams is calling the plays for the Red Raiders. Rick Carley this is his first year not being the offensive coordinator in any school he's been.
Interesting. 1st and 10, ball at the Red Raiders' own 47-yard line. We can call it the single wing, the double wing, the spin-a-rooney, whatever you want to, Corey. So far, they're kind of making some progress. Going backwards right here, players lost his helmet, Kendrell Davis, but also a flag on the play as well.
Anytime you have a direct snap, a wildcat snap in that situation to Davis because the quarterback did not get the football, that's something that you want to go north and south. You don't want to go east and west because you're backing your team up.
You just called it right there, Corey. So the Red Raiders will be going back, holding on the play.
Against the offense, decline, 2nd down.
The Rattlers declined the penalty, so they'll take the sack, or if you want to call it that, behind the line of scrimmage. So 2nd and long for BC Rain.
And again, we saw that on the first drive on 1st down. The penalty kind of took away anything positive the Red Raiders had going, and playing behind those sticks is tough.
Lopez on the move, throws it out incomplete, try to connect with Davis. Ball a bit too high. Takes BC Rain to 3rd down. So Coach Schamberger says, hey, we'll decline the penalty if we can get an incomplete or a stop. It's 3rd down.
We talked about Clifford Powell, the normal starting quarterback for the Red Raiders. He's played since he was a freshman. This would have been his 4th year starting, had an injury sustained and is not able to start tonight. So Victor Lopez gets his first high school start, and you can tell on that pass he's still a little bit nervous, but as soon as he takes that first lick, he'll settle down because he's a young man that can be very accurate.
Get those jitters out of his system there. 3rd and long for the Red Raiders. Lopez with the quick out. And he connects, gets it to Marquez Curtis, heads out of bounds. Not enough, but a late penalty, and the Red Raiders are clapping, possibly a late hit by LeFlore.
There could have been a late hit earlier in this possession that was not called, and now I know Coach Cawley was working the officials on that far sideline, so he might have been able to talk the officials into that a couple of plays earlier.
Here's a call from referee Ron Coleman. Or maybe he has to discuss it a little further, Corey. He went to his little headpiece there.
Got a dead ball.
Earpiece, rather.
Personal foul.
Here it is.
Against the defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
So that gives the Red Raiders new life, 1 penalty, and puts them past the midfield stripe, almost close to the original line of the first down where they were trying to achieve. But it's 1st and 10 right now at the LeFlore 44-yard line.
The good thing for the Red Raiders is that now they've crossed midfield. So regardless if this drive stalls, you'll still have been able to flip the field against the LeFlore Rattlers.
Now, referee Ron Coleman called an automatic first down. They've yet to change the down marker and move the sticks. They still have it is signaled as 4th down, Corey, with about a half a yard to go here. So if it was 4th down or first down, appears as if a down was picked up there. So we shall see if it'll be 2nd down or first down right now. He did say first down, 15-yard penalty. So it is a first down. He just signaled it.
So nonetheless, whether it was 1st and 1 or 4th and 1, the Red Raiders were able to pick it up, and now they're going to have a fresh set of downs to work with.
Inside Rattlers territory, Victor Lopez trying to get his feet under him. That ball direct to Kendrell Davis, and he is wrapped up. There he is, number 32, Derek Dugans. Boy, he's got a high motor, Corey.
Coach Schamberger absolutely loves him. The 5'11", 220-pound junior is probably the best athlete on the field for the LeFlore Rattlers. As we take a look at that replay, Dugans from his middle linebacker position comes rushing in, unblocked, and makes sure he wraps up and rattles the Red Raiders.
That's for a loss of about 5 or 6 yards, pushes BC Rain back to the Rattlers' 45-yard line. Approaching 4 minutes left in the first quarter here. Our first game of the season. Quick out and boom, wrapped up. Christopher Holyfield. What a tackle on Marquez Curtis.
It's textbook, Al. I mean, he makes sure that he does not lower his helmet. He keeps his head up and makes sure he wraps up on the play, just squares him up, comes up from his corner position and absolutely rocks Marquez Curtis on the play. You couldn't ask for a better highlight film than what you just saw.
No gain on that, so it is 3rd and long, about 16 for the Red Raiders. Offense coming to a stall here. Can't seem to get things going. They've had 1 big play earlier and 1 penalty that has given them more yardage, so we'll see what will go on now. Lopez on the move, scrambling, almost running for his life there, Corey. He's wrapped up and brought down, so it'll take BC Rain to 4th down. I'm pretty sure they'll be going for this.
Positive yards, though, gained by Lopez on the play, and he wanted to change direction and cut back across the field. If he would have kept going north and south, he might have brought up a 4th down and 10 situation, but looking at it now, Al, it's going to be about 4th down and 13 yards to go for BC Rain.
Justin Ray to punt here for the Red Raiders. Back to receive for LeFlore, Christopher Holyfield and J. Allen Gray. Nice punt by Ray there. Oh, and it is bobbled by Holyfield. And look at there, the biscuit in the basket. The Red Raiders retain possession. Wow, what a pickup by the Red Raiders. Patrick Harris, Johnny on the spot, Corey.
One of those things, Chris Holyfield might have lost it in the lights, but he probably should have got away from that ball if he wasn't going to be able to field it cleanly. That's one of those aspects you want to show that special teams have improved, and now that's just like a 20-yard pass completion for the Red Raiders.
Corey, it's early in the game, but I think Uncle Mo just booked an Uber.
And he definitely did. He's down there on about the 24-yard line right now trying to take it to the house.
Red Raiders looking to punch this one in or get some kind of points on the board. Lopez changes direction, takes a loss right there. Couldn't find his blockers, Corey.
Derek Dugans does an outstanding job in pursuit from his middle linebacker position on the play, and the Red Raiders do take a 3 or 4 yard loss out of that single wing offense that Rick Cawley likes to run. A little miscommunication by the first time starter at quarterback.
Take a look at the LeFlore impact players. We've talked about a few of them tonight already. Corey, what do you have on Belfon and Dugans there?
Belfon just needs to settle down. He's a big body, and Dugans is showing to be very active defensively.
Couple tackles already tonight. Lopez attempting to throw. He gets it out. Does have a man, cannot reach him. Trying to connect with Marquez Curtis. Nice pass from Lopez there.
Yeah, he laid it out there, and it was a good pass because he put it the only person who could really get their hands on it would have been the Red Raider receiver, and that receiver was going to be Marquez Curtis. As we take a look at the replay, good job of rolling out in the pocket by Lopez, and just could not come up under it was Curtis.
Just past his outstretched fingertips. 3rd and 15. Red Raiders trying to get some positive momentum here and keep it going. Pick up a first down. They need to get to the 12-yard line of LeFlore to do that. He's got a man out there wide open and does connect. Connects with Kendrell Davis, but incomplete, Corey.
And over the top,
wow.
Chris Holyfield thought he had help coming from the free safety position, and there was no help. If we're able to take a look at that replay, it should have been a touchdown, actually, Al, because in that situation, it was just blown coverage. Holyfield blew the coverage. He let his man go behind him thinking he did have help. The football hits the wide receiver right in his hands. He's not able to come away with it, and that's just a huge incompletion for Kendrell Davis, one that I know he wish he would have back.
Unfortunate for the Red Raiders there. You can see the young man dejected as he walked to the sideline. So BC Rain going for it right now. Throwing it once again. A little trickeration there. And that ball handed off, the good old hook and lateral to Marquez Curtis. The old veteran coach Rick Cawley pulls one out, gets the first down as well, Corey.
A little trickeration by the Red Raiders, and that's what it takes in the first game. You don't see that play often, but it's something that the coaches have really probably seen by the LeFlore Rattlers, especially after throwing that first ball over the top and there not being any help. The primary cornerback came down and made the tackle, and then all of a sudden, here comes the trailing wide receiver for the hook and ladder.
1st and goal, ball on the 3-yard line. Red Raiders all bunched up there. Direct snap to Davis. He's trying, but the Rattlers are not giving in. They hold tight, Corey.
And the worst thing that can happen for the Red Raiders down here deep in the red zone area is to have costly penalties and a turnover. So in this situation, if you are the Red Raiders, you want to make sure that you're not holding or grabbing. You're just holding on to your blocks and letting your athletes make the plays. Coach Cawley in this red zone area and his offensive skills, he's going to turn it over to John Williams, again, who's in his first year as the offensive coordinator. You have that single wing offense that is very tough to defend.
Check that, Deshaun Golston on the carry there as we're less than 30 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Play clock under 10. Red Raiders trying to punch it in. Little quick toss over the top, and that is complete. Touchdown to Kendrell Davis, 3-yard pass, and look at Lopez. Points on the board for the Red Raiders.
And that's an outstanding route, outstanding throw by the Red Raiders. The cornerback did not have any help over the top. He just placed the football on the money. As we look at the replay for the Red Raiders, Victor Lopez over the top finds his wide receiver who redeems himself, and Kendrell Davis, the 6', 170-pound senior, says, yes, I dropped the touchdown, but I'm going to redeem myself, and is able to get 6.
So Red Raiders going for 2. Not going to kick the extra point here. There's a little quick handoff to Marquez Curtis, and he could not get it in. So BC Rain on top, 6-0 right here. 15 seconds left in the first quarter. Let's take it down to the sidelines. Check back in with Kimberly Dunn.
Hey guys, we finally have our first point scored of the night from this BC Rain team, and let me tell you, I'm very proud of them. And in the beginning of this game, I was able to talk with Coach Colley from BC Rain, and he said one of the things that was going to help this team here tonight was unique plays, something that was going to have a little bit of trickery, just like we saw right before they were able to score that touchdown. So implementing those new techniques this season is definitely paying off so far for these Rattlers.
Thank you, Kimberly. You're right about that. Coach Colley caught him sleeping, Corey, and basically turned that play, kept that momentum going. But look at it, the turnover. I can't, if you could call it a turnover, but the Rattlers never took possession, just that fumble punt return by Holyfield there.
Al, you talked about it when it occurred, Uncle Mo showing up for the Red Raiders, because you had a stalled drive, and then just like that, you're able to take over in the LeFlore Rattler red zone area, and the Red Raiders were able to capitalize. Special teams is huge. It's part of, you have offense, defense. It's the third part of the game that's overlooked. Let's see if it'll come back and bite them, missing that two-point conversion.
Holyfield with the return here. Great return up to about the 40-yard line. So Rattlers take possession again, their second possession of the game. They started off at about the 40, but that miscue with the penalty and then the botched punt return gave that life to BC Rain. 7 seconds remain here in the first quarter, and BC Rain on top, 6-0.
If you're looking here as we're about to start the second quarter with 7 seconds remaining here in the first, the LeFlore Rattlers have had success rushing the football in between the 20s, and that first drive was stalled. So again, let's see if offensive coordinator and head coach Anthony Schamberger tries to keep up with that running game, because Belfon, he's a successful thrower intermediately, has not been able to connect deep yet.
Right, he is familiar with these receivers. He played ball with them in middle school and in park ball as well. So Rattlers hand that one off to Holyfield, and that would take us to the end of the first quarter as BC Rain on top 6-0 over LeFlore. You're watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. We'll be back shortly.
At Mobile County Public Schools, we believe it starts with us. That's why we offer Signature Academies.
I'm Tracy Tran, and I'm in the Healthcare and Dental Academy at Theodore High School. In the Dental Academy, I'm working alongside dental professionals getting hands-on training from those already working in the industry. Shadowing them on the job makes me want to work even harder, because now I know what I want to be.
Signature Academies are open to all students in Mobile County Public High Schools. To find out more, visit mcpss.com.
When parents are involved in school, they get more of this and less of this.
Looking for the latest news from the school district, inside and out of the classroom? Join Helena Tyler for Inside Education on the MCPSS TV network. Second quarter action starting off right here at the legendary Lad Peoples Stadium. BC Rain on top 6-0 over LeFlore. I'm Al Whedon, joined by Corey LeBounty on the sideline. It's Kimberly Dunn, executive producer Quentin Howard, and the entire MCPSS TV network crew welcome you back to another tremendous season of high school football, Corey.
And you have to be excited, Al, because you look at the crowd. It's the first game. You have other teams throughout Mobile and Baldwin County who just want to get a feel for how it's going to be tomorrow night for them. And they come out to support their teams and see their brotherhood play football. It doesn't get any better than that.
And we're not alone here. We look over to the press box. There are a couple coaches actually scouting the games tonight. I think other folks want to see football and be excited. Right now, this is the only game occurring in Mobile County. So we're glad you joined us, and we're back to second quarter action here. Belfon across the top, trying to connect with his receiver. Incomplete, trying to reach DeAndre Petway. That out of his outstretched hands takes the Rattlers to 3rd and 8.
Well, you can definitely tell who Belfon's favorite wide receiver is. DeAndre Petway has been the target of maybe 3 or 4 pass attempts by Belfon. In that situation, Belfon tries to throw it over the shoulder of Petway and just comes up with the incompletion. Now the Rattlers are going to be forced now to go in 3rd and long.
Coach Schamberger has lived up to what he told us. They're definitely throwing the ball a lot tonight. Man in motion. Belfon once again gets it out quick. Just past Holyfield's outstretched hands, and Corey, that takes the Rattlers to 4th down.
It's going to make the Rattlers go ahead and put that football on their foot, and it's going to give the Red Raiders just the break that they needed, because we talked about earlier on that first sustained drive by the LeFlore Rattlers, they were able to keep that defense of BC Rain on the field for a long time, but now being ahead 6-0 here early in the 2nd quarter is going to be huge.
Ricky Williams back to punt for LeFlore. Back to receive for the Red Raiders. Looks like Kendrell Davis lined up at about his 25-yard line. And we have a timeout here. What if this is called by LeFlore?
For the timeout. Red team.
So timeout for the Red Raiders. We'll get a chance, Corey, to look at our impact players for the Red Raiders. They're calling the timeout right there. Here we have for BC Rain.
Both these young men play offense and defense for the Red Raiders. Jonathan Williams, he's a big fella, and William Blake also. You normally don't see offensive and defensive linemen highlighted in the same package as far as being impact players. But, Al, because of these guys being so huge, it makes all the difference in the world for the Red Raiders.
You're right about that. Williams 6'3", 263, and Blake checking in at 6 foot 245. Helps average that line across the front at 268 for the Red Raiders. So you can definitely see the impact, but also they have had an impact early on, trying to set some holes and do some blocking so the Red Raiders could get on the board as they did earlier in the 1st quarter with that pass out to Davis. And Davis back, he's going to line up at about the 30 right here. Williams' punt looks like it's going to be down right at about the 30-yard line of BC Rain. Take a look at the coaches tonight. New feature we have here, Corey, the coaches comparison. Rick Cawley right there, his first year, the head coach of BC Rain, but we know him from Murphy, longtime assistant, as you can see. He was there 3 years with a 2013 record. If he wasn't an educator, I like that. A professional model, and look at that pose there, Corey. Look
he
at
always has a sense of humor. He's one of my favorite coaches in the Mobile County Public School System to speak with, because he always does things so vibrantly.
He does. Over there, Anthony Schamberger has been at LeFlore 6 years, going into his 7th year, and also coached at BC Rain. As you can see, the 2nd longest coach in the history of LeFlore. A lot of people aren't aware of that. Coach William Jesse, late William Jesse, coached for over 20 years. But Coach Schamberger, Corey, is now the 2nd longest tenured coach at LeFlore with this game now entering his 7th season.
And I think that's important for the kids in the community, because they're very familiar with them. Since they've been in elementary school, they've seen the same head football coach at LeFlore, so they have a passion and a desire to play for him. And we know Anthony Schamberger is also a graduate of LeFlore High School. So with that being said also, Al, it adds a little bit of it has more meaning to him.
It does.
Anytime he has an opportunity to see the orange and green on.
2nd and 9 for the Red Raiders, and we have a stoppage here. Penalty on the play.
And that was a great wasted play, because even though we're not going to get an opportunity to see that develop.
Just the offense.
Even though you're not going to have an opportunity for that to develop, that's part of that single wing offense and the trickeration that Rick Cawley has in his repertoire, and he's passed it down to his offensive coordinator, Coach Williams. So I think that throughout this game, we've already seen a hook and ladder out.
Sure have.
You won't see the end of the tricks coming out of the bag tonight for the Red Raiders.
And look at it this way, what do the Red Raiders have to lose? Not a great season last year. You know, Rick Cawley can throw the whole playbook out and just go for what he wants to tonight, Corey. And that ball hung up in the air a bit too long. Christopher Holyfield with the interception. And Corey, he's going to take that one to the house. Touchdown, LeFlore. Christopher Holyfield with the interception at 10:33.
That's a huge, huge momentum changer for the LeFlore Rattlers, and it's exactly what Anthony Schamberger and his team needed. Just an ill-advised throw by the young and inexperienced Victor Lopez. Put too much air under that ball. We've seen him complete a couple of passes, but the wide receiver was not where he needed to be. As you look at him roll out of the pocket, he's eyeing down exactly who he wants to throw to. Holyfield comes over from his cornerback position and is able to take that one to the house. The pass was intended for Marquez Curtis, but Holyfield was Johnny on the spot. 6 for the LeFlore Rattlers.
I call that about 42 yards, takes it to the house. We said it earlier, keep your eye out on this kid. He ran 2 back last year for kickoff returns, 1 against Spanish Fort and 1 against Robertsdale. And Christopher Holyfield in the stat book already tonight. Coach Schamberger out on the field, Corey, calls timeout. The Rattlers were going for 2. He did tell us earlier this week they would be kicking some extra points, possibly field goals. So maybe he saw something a bit different here and wanted to extend that lead by 2 rather than 1.
Spoke very highly of his kicker, Ricky Williams, the 5'10", 150-pound sophomore. And he, again, it's part of my checklist. One of the things that LeFlore special teams have to be special. In the past, we always saw LeFlore line up for 2 and never attempt a point after. But good call timeout by Anthony Schamberger as we have 10:33 remaining here. We wanted to know if that 1-point failure or 2-point conversion earlier when the Red Raiders scored would come back and bite them. Now LeFlore, it's a chess match, whether they decide to go ahead and send Ricky Williams out or go ahead and go for 2 and take the lead.
Coach Rick calling the Red Raiders, they're down to 1 timeout. He's burned 1 in each quarter so far. LeFlore taking their first here at the 10:33, but great. Got to give great kudos to Christopher Holyfield. He just saw that ball and picked it off. Lopez throwing against the grain, Corey, and the ball just floated, and you could see it from up here in the press box. That one was going to turn out well for the Rattlers if he got a couple blocks, and he did, and took it to the house.
Great atonement for that young man who fumbled the punt earlier that led to 6 by the Red Raiders.
You're right about that. Belfun lines up for the snap.
False start. Offense.
So that pushed the Rattlers back a couple yards. You thought it could have been offsides, but no, he was led over the young man from BC Rain. So LeFlore pushed back here, and it appears that they're going to keep that same personnel on the field and continue to go for 2 for the try. So ball at about the 8-yard line right here. Belfon over the top. Could not connect with DeAndre Petway. He's been going to him a lot, Corey. So we're notched up 6-6. We'll take a break and come back for more action with the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
Hello, my name is Abby Dinkins. My children go to E.R. Dixon Elementary School. The education that my kids are getting, it's tremendous. There's one time that I thought about homeschooling my kids because I wasn't sure, we're new here. And when I enroll my children at the public school, and I'm just blown away because the teachers are nice, the curriculum itself is different. I believe in Mobile County public school education for preparing my children for life.
To be inside of the advanced placement program means that you are a student whose primary goal is to go to college. And being in the advanced placement makes that so much more real for those students who are inside of it.
I feel that students shouldn't be scared to go into being an AP scholar because it's not how smart you are and it's not like your GPA, it's how much work you put into your classes and how much you are dedicated to your classes.
Welcome back to the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. I'm Al Wheaton, joined by Corey LeBounty. We're here at Lad People Stadium. First game of the season. It's LeFlore and BC Rain, and we're all notched up 6-6. Kendrell Davis with the return for the Red Raiders. Great field position, gets it up to their own 42-yard line.
Good tackle right there for the LeFlore Rattlers by Aaron Emanuel. He plays the defensive end position for LeFlore, and like you just said, great field position taken over at about the 42-yard line. The last possession by the Red Raiders was a turnover. It was a pick six turnover that allows our score to be here at 6-6 with 10:25 remaining here in the second quarter. Al, we've seen a lot of penalties that have kind of slowed down the flow. The first quarter went by fairly fast with a couple of penalties, but the referees were able to spot the ball. This one has kind of been slowed down a little bit more by the scores and also the penalties.
Direct handoff to Golston right there, and they wrap him up right there at the line of scrimmage, Corey. He tried to get past the line of scrimmage, but the Rattlers just swarmed him.
Did a good job of having that Rattler strike, and that's one of the things that LeFlore has to do well. They can't allow the Red Raider offense to get second and third opportunities running the floor.
Second and long for BC Rain. As you can see, the crawl going right there. Nice features the production crew adding this year, Corey. So we'll be at the Blunt Viger game tomorrow. It's the Battle of Pritchard, unity in the community, Corey.
Can't wait for that game. It's just one of those situations, Al, that it's a traditional great matchup.
Lopez floats another one right there, and coming down with it, Kendrell Davis. Rattlers not near the ball, possibly could have picked it off, and Corey, it just floated down from the sky right into his arms.
It's a situation as a defensive back, you have to make sure that you see the football and locate the football, and if you're able to do that, you are in a good situation. But the Red Raiders, after that errant throw that was thrown earlier on the last possession, they were able to get a little bit more confidence, and that'll do wonders for Victor Lopez and what he's able to do throughout the game.
First downs will definitely help this young man with this confidence. You're right. Direct snap to Davis, and we're going to have a penalty. College and career ready isn't just a buzzword in Mobile County. Mobile County Public Schools earned more than 10,000 nationally recognized career credentials last year. Those credentials allow them a big advantage when they apply for jobs, including as welders and certified nursing assistants. It starts with us. Red Raiders push back a couple yards here. Still be first down in about 15.
Al, I think we've seen the Red Raiders go backwards on first down, maybe in their first three possessions. Every time they have the football on first down, it seems to go backwards, something I know that they're going to want to correct. One of those things they have to play with consistency, and it's not being done yet.
Davis looking to throw this one, Corey. You could see him. And that play went nowhere except into the Rattlers' arms, all wrapped up. You can see Derek Dugan's in there on the tackle as well.
And that's just a good job of pursuit of the football. Jamal Irby helping his teammate out, Derek Dugans, and now it's going to put the Red Raiders in about second down and 22 yards to go.
8:30 remaining here in the first half. We'll have a heat timeout of the first dead ball at our 6-minute mark. Plus at halftime, got a lot coming up. We'll talk about that later on. We'll feature some bands and plus some of our traditional things that we like to do around here for the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Second down, Lopez throwing, and he does connect. Gets it out to the big guy right there, number 24 for the Red Raiders, Tyler Mixon, big fullback, 5'5", 206, Corey.
Yeah, that's a good check down by the quarterback, Victor Lopez. You want to go with the safe pass. The last pass he had was intercepted because he went for the gusto, and in that situation just found the H-back Mixon coming out of the backfield and was able to hit him with the completion.
Gets the ball back to about the midfield stripe here. So 3rd and 15, 3rd and long for the Red Raiders. Connects with Curtis. Curtis trying to make a move, and Holyfield is not letting that jersey go. Loses his helmet, and flags come in as well.
Again, a short swing pass by the Red Raiders is trying to catch the LeFlore defense, not where they're supposed to be. I do believe we're going to have a face mask penalty called against the Rattlers. Ron Coleman will confer it with his other officials, and he'll make the call.
Personal foul. Face mask. It's defense.
So that'll benefit the Red Raiders, Corey, similar to that late hit that occurred in the first quarter, kind of gave them an extra jump to keep a drive going, and it was 3rd and 15. First down here for the Red Raiders, getting closer and closer to the red zone once again.
And what it does is a couple of things. It not only moves the sticks, it makes the LeFlore defense stay on the field a little bit longer than that they were supposed to or wanted to, because they have put the Red Raiders in a long down and distance situation, and now that's all eliminated because you get a fresh set of downs, and that's probably the second or third time tonight that's happened to LeFlore.
Just under 8 minutes here in the first half. Direct snap to Golston. He gets some positive yards close to the red zone there. Ball at about the 22, maybe 21-yard line.
Positive yards on first down is very important for both of these teams, but it's not something that we've seen often by the Red Raiders. We've seen them hampered by penalties. It's going to bring up second down and about 4 yards to go for BC Rain.
Last season, BC Rain averaged 13.4 points a game and allowed 30.7 points a game. So a touchdown right here would be huge, almost hitting your average before halftime. So Coach Cawley trying to do everything positive to keep things going here. Also smart move by BC Rain, benefiting these penalties. They're also running the clock, Corey, making the clock their ally. And across the edge he goes, direct snap to Kendrell Davis. So this wing option, wing offense or wildcat or RP, whatever you want to call it, it seems to be working for the Red Raiders.
It's having success because it's moving the chain, and now that they're deep in this red zone area, we saw them throw a nice little pass, a little fade pattern to the end zone earlier on their first touchdown connection. Here, let's see if they decide to go ahead and keep it on the ground, because they've had success with that unbalanced line and running the football, but also the one-on-one coverage on the outside has not been good for LeFlore.
First and goal inside the red zone. Davis once again, and he has some room. Rattlers collapse on him maybe about the 4 or 3 yard line. As you can sense how the game is developing, Corey, you're kind of noticing which players are doing better with this direct snap, and it seems as if Davis is catching on a little better than, say, Golston or maybe Lopez possibly.
And that's important, because once you find that situation offensively that's working for you, you continue to go for it, because that's about the 4th or 5th time tonight that we've seen Kendrell Davis out of the situation get the direct snap. But now that you're deep in this red zone area, it's going to bring up second down and goal to go for the Red Raiders from about the LeFlore 3 yard line.
Golston checking back in, and it looks as if Lopez is checking back in, and they got the big chunk in there as well. Tyler Mixon playing halfback at 5'5", 206. So second and goal here for BC Rain, and possibly timeout called by BC Rain. Now, Corey, technically we're under 6 minutes, but that wasn't a dead ball. That was just the end of the first down play. So Coach Cawley looks as if he's going to get smart. He'll take the timeout, and at the next dead ball, he'll get a free timeout with the heat timeout.
Yeah, you get 2 for 1, Al. That's very important, because you're bringing up second down and goal to go at the 3 yard line, to where now if you go for it, you're in a situation and you don't get it, you're able to go right back and get the heat timeout to discuss what you want to do on the next play.
Speaking of the field and timeout, let's take a timeout, take it down to the sideline, check back in with Kimberly Dunn.
Hey guys, so when I talked to the coach at the beginning of the game, he said that at BC Rain, he said that he is more focused on these guys having confidence this game, because there's so many new players. And so when we see a little bit of advance, that's what you start seeing with this team. You see them get a little bit of confidence, a little bit of motivation, and then when something goes wrong, something doesn't go their way, you see them kind of lose that confidence. So it's just like a dance going on. They get a little bit of confidence and then they lose a little bit. So we'll see if they can hold on to this, if they can get it in to that end zone and make another touchdown for this game.
Thanks, Kimberly. Cora, I can swear she was in our head. She's talking exactly what we were just saying. Makes sense. Building momentum slowly, one play at a time. And Coach Cawley, he told her about it, and it's working.
Playing with consistency is Coach Cawley, his motto, Coach Cawley's motto, and that's something that the Red Raiders have to do. If they have a bad play, shake it off and play the next play, something that we've seen them do here good in the first half.
So right now we have Golston. And I thought that was Davis, but no, they slipped in. They slipped in another player on us, Corey.
Kamar Thompson.
Kamar Thompson, number 6. He takes the direct snap and takes it in. So touchdown for BC Rain.
And it's just a direct snap. You don't know who that football is going to go to, and they were able to punch it in and get 6 on the board.
So Red Raiders going for 2 right here. For a second, I was wondering, I didn't see too many signals called that it was a touchdown, but the officials did, and that's going to be a pre-play penalty right there. Flag comes out early.
False start on the offense.
Same situation happened to LeFlore on their try for 2 on their previous touchdown.
And I love the formation that was called by John Williams, the offensive coordinator by the Red Raiders. We know Rick Cawley's known for running the single wing offense, but he's had a lot of direct snaps tonight to a lot of different players, which has caused confusion for this 4-3 defense that Dwayne Hill, the second-year defensive coordinator for the LeFlore Rattlers, is calling.
Also a little confusion for us up here too, Corey. So Coach Cawley going deep into the depth chart there. We had to pull out our other roster to see who scored that last touchdown. Little quick handoff to Kendrell Davis from Golston, and that try is good. I'm sorry, that's Marquez Curtis. And it's BC Rain on top, 14-6. Don't move. More action headed your way. It's exciting right here at Ladd, the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
At Mobile County Public Schools, we believe it starts with us. That's why we offer Signature Academies.
Hello, I'm Jordan Clark, and I'm in the Health Service Academy at John L. LeFlore Magnet High School. My future career is to be an obstetrician gynecologist. With this academy, I'm learning firsthand from people already working in the industry. Shadowing them on the job really makes me want to study hard and work harder towards my career goals.
Signature Academies are open to all students in Mobile County Public High Schools. Visit mcpss.com.
As Alabama's first and largest school system, Mobile County Public Schools prides itself on the high quality of education we provide our students.
We have been successful over the years in raising our graduation rates
and have been recognized nationally for closing achievement gaps.
We believe that our primary focus is to educate all students to become productive citizens.
This is our commitment to them and to you.
Parents, are you looking to connect? Join Paula Reese and Carmen Bounds. Get information on how you can help your kids through school with homework tips, registration information. It's a guide for parents on how to connect. Parent Connect with Paula Reese and Carmen Bounds on the MCPSS TV network. Beautiful look right there at the RSA Tower downtown, Corey, and beautiful look tonight for some high school football. BC Rain on top, 14-6.
It's back, and it started off with a bang. You look at both of these teams filling each other out offensively. It was a struggle early for both teams with penalties, but now that they've kind of felt each other out, they're having an opportunity now for LeFlore to go back to the drawing board. This is going to be a critical series for the LeFlore Rattlers. They were able to answer the score earlier off of the turnover and the pick 6 by Chris Holyfield. Now, offensively, it's going to be important for Hezekiah Belfon to complete some passes. That way it doesn't put you behind the sticks, and it moves the sticks. So far, he's only thrown to DeAndre Petway.
Short kick from Marshall Knight of BC Rain, taken by one of the up guys for LeFlore, Cameron Willis, and he gets that ball up to about maybe the 43, 44-yard line. So once again, Corey, Rattlers great field position to start another series, but can they keep it going? Right now we're at 5:27, underneath 6 minutes. I don't know if we've had a heat timeout observed or not. Maybe that was it between the plays. So
it was observed in between the plays, but what's going to be important for LeFlore, again, the ground game was very successful on their first offensive possession. We saw them chew up a chunk of yards and it die down within the red zone area. Let's see if they can sustain that and get the consistency in the passing game also.
3 receivers at the bottom. Hezekiah Belfon rolling out. He's going to keep this one. He's lumbering, picking up maybe 2 or 3, Corey.
And it's funny you say lumbering because this is a 6'2", 225-pound quarterback. So he doesn't have that 4.3 speed. He's looking to lower the shoulder and lower the boom on you. You're not going to get in front of him, and he's going to hit that truck stick on you. But he's able to pick up positive yards nonetheless on first down.
And also stops the clock right there as we approach 5 minutes remaining here in the first half. Interesting ball game so far, Corey. You've talked about it, filling each other out, certain plays, what's working, what's not working. It seems like the Red Raiders are kind of slowly getting this thing together on offense. Second down for the Rattlers. And that pretty much goes nowhere. Hands off to Trent Odom. He gets a couple yards. It's third down already.
That's Kamar Thompson, the young man who just scored the touchdown. Again, he's playing the middle linebacker / Mike position. 5'6", 200-pound junior. Almost a bowling ball mentality. We saw him at the 2 or 3 yard line be able to get into the end zone pretty much untouched, and now he comes from his Mike linebacker position and makes a great play. Only a 1 yard gain for LeFlore.
Third and about 5. We'll call it a long, maybe 5.5 here for the Rattlers. Belfont trying to connect, looking for receivers. And they're all covered up by the Red Raiders secondary, and he is forced out of bounds for a loss. So Coach Carley and the Red Raiders possibly looking to get the ball back before halftime and get another score on the board if they can.
4:27 remaining here in the second quarter, Al. That was a huge stop by the secondary of the Red Raiders, covering up all the LeFlore wide receivers and making Hezekiah bounce to the outside, not really having anybody to throw to. Now, let's see, LeFlore's defense has been on the field for a long time. That was almost the equivalent to a 3 and out because the time of possession for LeFlore was very short on that series.
Think back last year, Corey, with 5 minutes remaining in the half, that was DeJuan James time right there. Just run the rock, keep it, run the rock, keep it. And they couldn't quite get it together this time with the running back by committee choice here.
And you're going to have to make sure that when they do hit the holes that you, as an offensive line, you sustain your blocks. That's something that I've noticed on this pass protection. LeFlore has let the Red Raiders defense kind of scramble, make Hezekiah scramble and get out of his comfort zone outside of that pocket.
Coach Anthony Schamberger uses a timeout here, brings the young men over, wants to talk things with them. Their special teams coordinator, Marcus Poe, right there on the sidelines talking with them as well. Great fishbowl look right there from the MCPSS production crew right here at legendary Lad People Stadium. Take a look at Rain right here, the rest of their schedule for the season. Rain plays in 6A Region 1, clearly probably the toughest region in the state. So next week they'll be at Saraland, and you can see the rest of it. Blunt, they'll host Blunt also on the road at Daphne, then they'll host Spanish Fort. So those are 2 big games, and Rain plays their home games at Tremere Park, Corey. So they don't play here at Ladd like Murphy and LeFlore and Williamson and Davidson. Their bye will come in the middle of October, but that stretch run right there with Blunt, Daphne, and Spanish Fort, that's like running through a gauntlet early in the season.
And let's talk about the Red Raiders in 6A Region 1, making that 6A Region 1 classification by 1 body.
Right.
They were 1 body short from dropping down to 5A, and it's huge when you're talking about the classification differences and the gauntlet that is 6A Region 1, what we all like to call the SEC West.
Right, we'll talk about more of the regions later on during the contest. We had some teams change around this year, some classification teams move up, teams move down. Matter of fact, LeFlore moved down to 5A. They were in 6A last year as well. So, Corey, you just alluded to it. BC Rain, man, it's tough for them. The smallest 6A school in the state, and to miss it by 1 kid, something else for Coach Carley. But he's not going to let it keep them down. He talked about it at media days. We're going to keep positive, keep moving. So far, doing pretty good tonight.
And again, this is a team that was able to participate and have some 7-on-7 action this summer to try to get the timing. But again, Coach Carley did not take this job until May 26th, and that was an opportunity on the last day of school for the kids to get to know him.
Botch snap, Ricky Williams picks it up, cannot get back to the original line of scrimmage, and the Red Raiders have been given a gift. They're already in Rattlers territory. Speaking of the Rattlers, let's take a look at the Rattlers. We just talked about it moving down to 5A. So next week they'll have Williamson, Faith Academy, Citronelle. Now keep in mind a few of these teams they're familiar with. They play them already anyway, like Saraland, Viger. But overall for LeFlore, that move down possibly could get them a possible position into the playoffs, as it was tough to get in Region 6A. Corey, Region 1, 6A down here.
First 2 games being non-region games for the LeFlore Rattlers is huge to try to get a gauge for Anthony Schamberger on where this team is going to be this year. He just has been speaking on the Rattlers not having the depth to play at the 6A level. Now that they're moving down to 5A, it's not going to be a cakewalk, but from a numbers standpoint, as we've seen both of these teams having guys playing both ways, we'll see how it matriculates itself.
They should fare better this season playing down in 5A. So direct snap to Lopez. He spins around and gives it to Curtis. And there's that single wing going, Corey. Big 8-yard, maybe 9-yard gain for the Red Raiders, and continuing to work the clock as well.
One of the things that the LeFlore defense, you can tell, they're huffing and puffing. They've been on the field for a long time here in the second quarter, as BC Rain has been able to put down some back-to-back first down drives, and it moves that sticks and keeps the LeFlore defense on the field. Those guys are getting a little tired.
Under 4 minutes here remaining in the first half. Red Raiders have been in control, and that LeFlore defense has been on the field a long time, a few times. Lopez with the snap. Almost brought down by one of his own teammates. Not enough to make the first down.
And if you're going to run the type of offense that BC Rain is attempting to run, you want to stay away from Derek Dugans. You have to know where 32 is. You want to make sure that you get into his secondary or the second line of defense and put a hat on him, because if you don't put a hat on him, he's going to make the tackle in open space. He's one of the better tacklers in the entire state of Alabama.
He is. His favorite athlete is Bobby Wagner, and his favorite team is the Seattle Seahawks, and he definitely plays all out when he is on the field. Less than 3 minutes remain here in the first half. Third and a short one for BC Rain. Looks like a little mix up there, but Davis gets around the edge to the numbers, picks up the first down, stays in bounds. That will stop the clock momentarily to move the chains. But the Red Raiders taking their time here, Corey.
On 3rd down and 1, the Red Raiders are able to move the sticks again. The clock will continue to tick at 2:40 as soon as the sticks are placed by the linesmen. But another great run. BC Rain is looking to bounce the ball to the outside and has found something on that unbalanced line that is allowing them to break the containment of the defensive ends of LeFlore.
1st and 10 for BC Rain. Once again, handing off to Davis. He stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Head kind of turned back there. Thought it may have been a face mask, but the player possibly maybe didn't get his hand up there, but head did snap back a bit, Corey.
And that's one of the few times that we've seen in this second quarter the Red Raiders go backwards on 1st down. As you look at the run that's being made by Davis, great job of standing him up. The helmet and the face mask was not grabbed, therefore you didn't see the yellow flag come out.
2nd and 13 for BC Rain as we tick under 2 minutes here in the half. I believe there's a penalty flag down on the field. False start against BC Rain. So, Corey, they had the momentum going forward. Now we're going backwards here. So I'm sure Coach Carley not happy about that.
He's happy that he has the lead on the scoreboard, but those penalties are something that we saw in the Red Raiders' first possessions of the game. And now with the lead at 14-6 over LeFlore, those penalties become costly when you're down and get the ball inside the 30 and go backwards, having an opportunity to put more points on the board.
2nd down for BC Rain, and that ball pretty much goes nowhere as the clock continues to tick here, and Coach Carley pretty much just playing keep away right here, Corey. He doesn't want to make any mistakes. Don't call any plays that they're going to regret later on.
Ball security is very important. The last 109 here of the second quarter. Want to make sure that you don't turn it over, as you actually defensively have done a great job against the LeFlore Rattlers with the exception of that first drive, because the only points for LeFlore tonight have been a pick 6 on an errant throw by the BC Rain quarterback.
And it appears as if Coach Carley is going to burn his last time out and just let that clock continue to tick, the play clock as well. 3rd and 17. And there he is. He takes the time out there. So pretty much playing smart. We talk about it, Corey. He was a longtime assistant at Murphy, coached Murphy for 3 years, made the playoffs each of the years he was there. But also something to keep in mind, while he was at Murphy, Coach Carley used to the athletic players and athleticism that a quarterback can offer. So setting up this wing offense, or whatever you want to call it here, I think it kind of plays into BC Rain's hand to be positive this season.
And I like the formations because the biggest thing for the Red Raider program is going to be to stay healthy.
Right.
And if they're able to stay healthy, you look at their starting quarterback who led them the entire summer, goes out and gets injured in practice and has to sit out in the first game. And because of it, you wouldn't even notice it on the scoreboard. 14-6 now the Red Raiders are leading, and that's huge for the confidence of this Red Raider program.
MCPSS Athletics with Brad Lowell. There he is, the AD of the school system. If you want the latest on athletics from elementary to middle school to high school, join Athletic Director Brad Lowell for MCPSS Athletics. And Corey, we had an opportunity to join him about a week or two ago for, I guess you would call it a preseason kickoff show. Had a great time over there with Athletic Director Brad Lowell talking about the upcoming season and some of these teams right here.
Covered all the Mobile County public schools and really talked about the reclassification on how the regions were going to set up. And tonight it's all coming to a head. It's peaked out in itself on a Thursday night because we're here.
3rd and long, Kendrell Davis trying to throw, and he is swarmed and wrapped up by the Rattlers. Clock continues to tick. Looks like Coach Carley and the offense were going to try to take a shot in the end zone there.
And that's Derek Dugan swarming to the football, getting that sack for the LeFlore Rattlers, and we're coming up on about 5 seconds remaining here in the second quarter.
So before the play clock even started, Coach Carley told his kids, don't worry about it. The clock is going to run out, as it has done. And we are at halftime here. BC Rain on top, 14-6. Interesting ball game so far, Corey. We must have to say, could be a surprise, could not be, but you would think with the offense that Coach Carley is running, kids have adapted well so far.
And exactly that. They haven't turned the football over with the exception of that interception that led to that pick six. So, you know, Coach Carley's got to be very happy about what's transpiring for his Red Raider program right now.
He sure does. We're going to try to take it down to the field and check in with Kimberly Dunn. She's going to be getting with one of the coaches before they go into halftime. But interesting first half here from BC Rain and also for LeFlore. Also great interception by Christopher Holyfield to take that one to the house and get the Rattlers on the board. But BC Rain never give up attitude. They're still in it, and they're on top 14-6.
They've been very successful running the football and mixing it up with the passing game also. And the passes that have been able to score, it's been touchdowns. A nice play right there. And we'll go down to the field to talk with Coach Carley now.
I'm here with Coach Carley. How do you feel about your team's performance so far tonight?
Really gutsy so far. I mean, we came in with one quarterback on the roster, and he's hurt. So we got linebackers and everybody saying, I can do it, I can do it. And, you know, they're going in there and they're doing their best and playing hard. And if we could cut out some of the penalties and moving backwards and negative plays, we'd be okay. Too many run-throughs. Defense is playing their guts out. You know, we got the pick six, the only points. That's just inexperience. You know, a receiver changed his route and quarterback, instead of throwing it away, kind of tried to get something that wasn't really there.
Yeah, so what does your team need to do in order to secure tonight's win?
Take care of the football from here on out, eliminate some of the penalties, and really just keep fighting hard, you know, just being who they are. And they're, you know, scrappy little guys, and keep being that.
All right, thank you so much, Coach. We'll talk to you later.
All right, there's Kim with Coach Rick Carley. He's going in at halftime on top 14-6, Corey.
And he has to be happy because you're only giving up 6 points to a pick six like he just mentioned, and his team is playing with a lot of guts, a lot of consistency, have been able to move the football, have a great balance. LeFlore, on the other hand, they had the football early and ran the football in that first possession that they had. Since then, the drives have stalled. I think the passing game is going to have to come into effect for them in the second half for them to be effective. Hezekiah Belfon's going to have to find other wide receivers to complete some passes and move the sticks, keep the defense off the field in order to have success in the second half.
All right, we're going to find out on the other side. It's time for halftime. We got a lot of stuff headed your way, some bands. Also, we'll talk to AL.com high school reporter Ben Thomas and even get some Chick-fil-A trivia challenge in. It's halftime. BC Rain on top 14-6. You're watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
In Mobile County Public Schools, we are redefining ready. We are graduating college ready, career ready, and life ready. We are more than just a test score. We are earning college credit while in high school. We are working internships to get real-world experience. We are welders. We are certified nursing assistants. We are redefining ready.
Do you have what it takes to be an Envision graduate? We are pioneering students to be all they can be, from 6th grade all the way to 12th grade.
I definitely would recommend Envision to other students who feel the way I feel. They really work with you, and they've gotten tutors, and you have online teachers to talk to.
It starts right here. It starts right now. Envision Virtual Academy. Enroll today.
I believe my child's school is probably one of the best ones I could have picked in Mobile. She's in the PACE program. The teachers are phenomenal. The principal, couldn't ask for a better principal. The research that I had done myself, I believe the quality of education in Mobile County Public School System is excellent. For me and my child, I'm going to stick with the public school system. I think it's the way to go.
It's halftime at the MCPSS High School football game of the week. Rain on top, 14-6. I'm joined in the broadcast booth right now by AL.com high school reporter Ben Thomas. Ben, you're all around the Gulf Coast. You're everywhere talking about high school football. You even do it in the summertime. But, man, it's here now. What do you think so far of what you're seeing tonight with rain and LeFlore here?
It's a little bit cleaner game than I expected, to be honest with you. There's been a few penalties, I think one turnover for each team. I like what I've seen from BC Rain, considering their starting quarterback, Clifford Powell, is not playing tonight. You know, they're running a little bit of that old Murphy Spinaroonie offense, misdirection stuff, and they're doing a good job with it. And, LaFleur's just struggling to move the ball. I think BC Rain has like 36 plays to their 16 or something like that. So they're going to have to get something going in the second half, or it could be a long game.
Interesting summer here on the Gulf Coast. A lot of things happening in high school football. We've got a lot of classification changes. Had opportunity to do a great job setting up the media days. We were here at LAD and just kind of reflecting back some of the things that happened in media days and projecting to this season, especially with teams moving around in different classifications this year.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. I mean, I thought it was a good week of media days as always. You know, I think St. Paul's moving up into that region, 6A region. That's so tough. That 6A Region 1 is really part of the big story of the year. I think, I like Viger. I think a lot of people are really high on Viger, which you guys will see tomorrow night, I know. And
that's right.
In the Blunt game, with St. Paul's moving out of that region, it almost opens up. Viger won it the last 2 years anyway.
Sure did.
I like Viger a lot in that region. And, what's going to happen in 7A? Can anybody beat McGill? I really like Theodore. I don't know if they can beat McGill, but I really like the talent they have. They got an interesting game tomorrow night at Daphne. So we'll see what happens.
Let's talk about Williamson dropping down to 4A. They made the playoffs last year, I believe 7-3. Only had maybe 28, 30 guys dressing. What about that move for Coach Dietrich Sumter and the Lions going down to 4A?
Yeah, I like it. I picked them to make the playoffs. I mean, they're like you said, they're a playoff team in 5A, and they're dropping down to 4A now. I really like their talent on that level. Of course, they got to replace two great players, Roger McCrary, who's at Auburn now, and Jamal Hickbottom, who's now at South Alabama. So that'll be tough, but, they got a great coaching staff. Antonio Coleman's done an unbelievable job with their defense. Dedrick Sumter's done a great job. Now they've hired Jamarcus Russell.
That's right, serving as quarterbacks coach.
That can only help just the experience of those Williamson guys. So I wish they could get more guys out. Since Dedrick's been there, it's been 28, 30 guys the whole time. And if that's the case, you get a few key injuries. it's tough. So.
Well, you're right about that, Ben. We appreciate you stopping by. AL.com reporter, high school reporter Ben Tommies does a fine job on football, baseball, basketball. You do it all year, man, so we appreciate what you do, and thanks for starting us off this season.
All right, Al, thank you, man. Good
No
luck.
problem. We're going to take it down to the field now and take a look at the Red Raiders marching band.
Make some noise for our Southern Spirit Band! The band is under direction of Dr. Information on the board, jazz and flag spots are Ms. Demetria Franklin and Demetria Barker. Percussion instructor is Mr. Jaquan Gibson. Jazz instructor is Ms. Jesus Smith. Flag instructor is Ms. Caitlin Rackman. The Imperial Band booster president is Ms. Courtney Womack.
Sounds of the BC Rand Red Raiders marching band. We'll be back with more halftime action and also take a look at the LeFlore Mighty Marching Rattlers. It's halftime for the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
I think it's a good idea for students to enroll in this program because it offers a sort of new way to learn. It feels like in AP classes, you're actually expected to learn and apply yourself and apply the knowledge as well. Helped me to learn how to work harder. It's helped me learn my limits as a student. It's sort of helped me to be more confident in myself as well as a student in my abilities.
At Mobile County Public Schools, we believe it starts with us. That's why we offer Signature Academies.
Hello, I'm Jordan Clark, and I'm in the Health Service Academy at John LeFlore Magnet High School. My future career is to be an obstetrician gynecologist. With this academy, I'm learning firsthand from people already working in the industry. Shadowing them on the job really makes me want to study hard and work harder towards my career goal.
Signature Academies are open to all students in Mobile County Public High Schools. Visit mcpss.com.
Your vehicle is not a toy. It's a responsibility. Don't text and drive.
Let's take it down to the field and witness the sounds of the mighty marching Rattler Band from LeFlore High School.
The band will now perform their downfield pursuit drill to perform their show, and the infield drill to watch. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the John L. LeFlore Mighty Marching Rattlers Band. Now move to the edge of your seat as the lovely lady strike in, hypnotize you to the tune. One of you starting something. Let's go, scissors and six. Now, just 1 minute. I know you didn't think we was going to leave without giving you a breakdown. Everybody, sing that song. Ladies and gentlemen, you'll have time to join as the brought to you by the principal of LeFlore High School with Genesis, your flag captain, the Hunter Mayor, your flag captain, Ashley Powell, flag and dance sponsor, Ms. Pamela Disley, and your director of band, Mr. Michael Stetzer. This has been another Rattlers Band production. Good night.
The always exciting, mighty marching LeFlore Rattler Band as we're wrapping up halftime here at the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. We'll be back with some first half stats headed your way. Don't move.
Hello, my name is Abby Dinkins. My children go to E.R. Dixon Elementary School. The education that my kids are getting, it's tremendous. There's one time that I thought about homeschooling my kids because I wasn't sure, we're new here. And when I enroll my children at the public school, and I'm just blown away because the teachers are nice, the curriculum itself is different. I believe in Mobile County public school education for preparing my children for life.
To be inside of the advanced placement program means that you are a student whose primary goal is to go to college. And being in the advanced placement makes that so much more real for those students who are inside of it.
I feel that students shouldn't be scared to go into being an AP scholar because it's not how smart you are and it's not like your GPA, it's how much work you put into your classes and how much you are dedicated to your classes.
Welcome back to the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Rain on top 14-6 as we wrap up halftime. I'm Al Wheaton, joined by Coralie Bounty here in the broadcast booth. Corey, an interesting first half from Rain and LeFlore, and quite a surprise. Even Ben Thomas alluded to that.
Yeah, we're at 14-6, and looking at the score, you only see 6 points on the board by the LeFlore Rattlers off of a pick six, but we'll see what happens and matriculates here in the second half.
Speaking of LeFlore, let's take it down to the sidelines. Kimberly Dunn has Coach Anthony Schamberger.
Coach, what was the atmosphere like in the locker room?
Just a lot of teaching. Made a lot of mistakes on offense the first half, and just something we got to correct. Just first game deal, and we'll be fine this half right here.
Yes. So what does your team need to do in order to pull off this win tonight?
Just got to execute a little better.
All right, and is there anything that you said to your team to motivate them?
Just continue to play hard and execute the offense a little better.
Yeah. All right, thank you so much, Coach, and good luck.
Thank you, Kim. Coach Schamberger wants to keep it positive, Corey. He wasn't smiling, but I'm pretty sure he wants his guys to smile on the field a little better.
Yeah, Al, I know he told his guys in the locker room, we had a great first half drive. The first possession that the LeFlore Rattlers had, they bogged down right inside the red zone area, was able to move it from the 20 to 20, and then just kind of stop running the football with any type of consistency. And that's something that I know LeFlore wants to improve on, and they will improve on in the second half. Also, Hezekiah Belfon will have to complete some passes here in the second half for the Rattlers to give themselves an opportunity. Plenty of football left. Again, Al, it's the opening game. You have the penalties that have played a factor for both teams, got behind the sticks early, have both teams on all possessions. So let's see if they can kind of calm that down.
Speaking of first half, here's some first quarter stats coming in right here. Talked about it, rushing yards for the Rattlers and for the Red Raiders. You can see right there. Look at the passing yards, Corey. You just talked about getting Belfon to calm down. 1 passing yard there for the Rattlers. Total yards makes sense, 91 for BC Rain. They pretty much kind of controlled it. I think Ben Thomas alluded to it. They had like 36 offensive plays compared to LeFlore's 16.
And that's one of the things that BC Rain wanted to do, was to shrink the game. And they were able to shrink the game by staying on the field offensively. And it's just going to be a situation now in the second half with 24 minutes of football remaining. What team is better conditioned? Because both teams have players that are and key players that are playing both ways. Because if you look for the Red Raiders, Kamar Thompson scored a 3-yard rushing touchdown, and then on the ensuing defensive possession, turned around and made a great open field tackle right after running the football. So it's a situation for both LeFlore and BC Rain that I think depth in the second half, even though it's not as humid as it normally is for a late August evening, we haven't seen a lot of cramps by either team. So hopefully both teams have hydrated properly at halftime and did so prior to tonight's contest.
You're right about that. Haven't seen many players going down with cramps at all. Typically they'll lay down on the back and they'll hold their legs up in the air. They're trying to work those cramps out. Haven't seen that happening, and great opportunity with the humidity not as high as it normally is here on the Gulf Coast. So this is working out to the benefit of the players there. Looking at the stats we had earlier, that 1 turnover for LeFlore, points off turnovers. That's their only score tonight, 6 points with that about 42-yard interception return for Christopher Holyfield for the Rattlers. And he's back there lined up along with Jay Allen Gray to receive the kickoff here as BC Rain got the ball in the first half. Beautiful shot of the moon. Clear sky tonight, Corey. No clouds in the skies. It's a great night for high school football.
You couldn't ask for a better opening game and opening weather situation for both of these teams, and all the fans have really come out and are excited to see this 2018 football season get underway.
Big ups and shout outs to our crew getting the shots tonight. They've been anticipating high school football as well. All the folks in the truck. So, Corey, it's here. It's happening. About to get the second half kicked off. I noticed during halftime when I was interviewing Ben Thomas before and after, we talked about it. A lot of coaches here scouting both of these teams. We're going to be at Blunt and Viger tomorrow for the Battle of Pritchard, and I've seen both sets of coaches from each team looking at both of these teams tonight.
Everybody itching to get in that football mode. Not only do they have common opponents, maybe later on down sometime in the season, just being able to get out of the house, get away from your team's walkthrough that a lot of teams had today, and getting the opportunity to see real football at its best here at Lad People Stadium.
Marshall Knight kicking off for BC Rain. He keeps that one out of Holyfield's hands up to one of the up guys, and he is close to the midfield stripe for LeFlore.
That's Javonte Major, the running back, 5'9", 175-pound senior with great hands, just picks up that squib kick by the Red Raiders. The LeFlore Rattlers are going to start the second half in excellent field position.
They are smart move by Coach Schamberg and special teams coach Marcus Poe. Put the good hands guys up front. So that backfired against BC Rain there. LeFlore sitting well. Corey, ball at their own 48-yard line, 1st and 10. As we get the second half underway.
Balance here in the second half is going to be important for LeFlore offensively.
Hezekiah Belfon takes the snap, has a man wide open, throws it low into the ground, trying to reach Derek Williams McGlaster. First time calling his name tonight.
And that's the first wide receiver that I've seen Belfon throw to besides DeAndre Petway. And it was a route that was wide open for the LeFlore Rattlers. And you have to hit Williams McGlaster. Belfon just needs to settle down. He had the wide receiver who was wide open. In this situation here now in 2nd and 10, they need to complete this pass.
Hitting him in stride definitely would have helped out the Rattlers. 2nd down. Receivers at the bottom. Quick out to Christopher Holyfield. He can make some things happen. He's Mr. Excitement for the Rattlers, and he's close to the sticks for a 1st down. Let's see where they mark it, Corey.
Nice little quick throw. Gives the quarterback and wide receiver a lot of confidence. That's something that when we look at the instant replay, just a quick throw out into the flat by Holyfield. He gets it into the open field, tries to turn it up, and gets close to 9 yards. It'll bring up 3rd down and short for LeFlore.
So you called it right there. 3rd and 1, not enough. LeFlore throwing on their first 2 attempts here in the 3rd quarter. Holyfield in motion. They fake the handoff, and they give it to Majors, and he should have enough for the 1st down.
Big time tackle on the play for the Red Raiders. If he gets past that line of scrimmage, you can see him just continue to run and call his name. Big stop by LaKendrick Beckham, the 6'2", 230-pound senior defensive lineman.
Ron Coleman signals 1st down for the Rattlers. So they are sitting right now at the BC Rain 42-yard line.
That's the balance that you want to see. Pass, pass, now you run. Short situations for LeFlore to pick that up.
Holyfield in motion once again. They fake it. They give it off to Majors. Nice big run, maybe 6 or 7 on that carry. LeFlore trying to get things going.
And one of the fears that Coach Carley had on this game was his defense staying on the field for too long. A great opening second half drive by the LeFlore Rattlers, being able to move the sticks, not to mention that they were able to start this particular possession in great field position.
You're right about that little squib kick backfire for the Red Raiders, and LeFlore keeping it positive, moving forward as we tick toward the 10-minute mark right here in the 3rd quarter. 2nd and 4, so we'll give Major 6 yards on that carry. They give the rock right back to him, and boy, he is met by the Red Raiders defensive line.
And you see about 5 Red Raiders there surrounding the football, and that's just a great job of gang tackling. The Rattlers pick up nothing. 3rd down and 4 yards to go, maybe 3.5 for LeFlore. To be interested to see right here, offensive coordinator and head coach Anthony Schamberger decides to roll Belfon out of the pocket or keep him there on those counters that they've been running.
3rd and 4 receivers at the top. 9:30 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. Belfon looking to get it out. He has a lot of room, Corey. He's on the move. He's lumbering. He's picking up some speed. Gets down to the 25, out at about the 21-yard line. So Belfon, he didn't turn on the flames, but he got out there and got going, Corey.
And there's going to be a penalty flag. I believe they're going to get Javonte Major on the crackback block, and it happened right in front of the official. He's pointing to who he wanted him to block to, and Belfon did a good job of running outside of the pocket, scrambling and getting the 1st down. Coach Schamberger called a good play, but let's see what the officials decided to call.
They're discussing it on the field. Well, as they discuss it, we're going to throw out the game of the week brain buster here.
Illegal block gets the offense.
So you're right on about that, Corey. Let's see if you can get this one right. Name the 2 Reign head coaches who led their teams to the playoffs in their first year. That's our game of the week brain buster. Think about it. We'll give you the answer later on.
I think I know one of them, Al. I'm not quite sure about the second one.
We'll find out.
And I'll just continue. It's busting my brain right now. I guess that's why it's called a brain buster.
So the Rattlers push back on that penalty. Takes all the momentum away for now. It's 3rd and long. We'll call it about 3rd and 12 here. And let's see what play Anthony Schamberger is going to call for his LeFlore Rattlers.
He's been able to get the ball out into the flat and let his Holyfield make the play in open space. Let's see if that's who he decides to go to here.
Corey Flax coming in before the ball is snapped. This is something we talked about with Coach Schamberger earlier this week. How do you prepare the guys? He said they had a couple scrimmages this summer, this past spring. They used the officials doing that, trying to keep them mentally focused in the game.
It's going to be a uniform violation, something the officials saw on the arm sleeve of
like,
Williams McGlasker.
Williams McGlasker, yeah.
They want his sleeve to be down on below his elbow area, and it was above his elbow area, and that's an equipment violation.
So it looks like just a warning they're giving him right now. So no yardage assists, but yardage right now is big for the Rattlers. 3rd and 12. They need a big one to keep this drive going. Belfon stretching back. He's going to just toss it out. Oh, and it is dropped. Try to connect with Javonte Majors, and he dropped it. Corey, he had the first down.
And if you go ahead and look at this replay, Javonte was trying to run before he caught the football. Had plenty of green grass in front of him, green turf that is. Belfon rolls out to the right side, had his running back wide open in the flat, and he just takes his eyes off of the football and leads to the drop. Going to bring up 4th down and 12 yards to go for the Rattlers.
DeAndre Petway was set up to give him a block and give him some more room around the edge and couldn't bring it in. So 4th down, Rattlers in no man's land. Might as well go for it here. Low snap. Belfon's got a man, and you know who it is, Christopher Holyfield. He turns on the Jets. Can he turn the corner, Corey? He does. 10-5. Holyfield in for a touchdown. Touchdown, LeFlore Rattlers.
Touchdown on 4th down and 12.
Big play.
44-yard momentum swinger for the LeFlore Rattlers. We talked about special teams at the beginning now. That's going to be huge. But if you look at this play as it breaks down, Belfon does a great job of checking down to Holyfield on the slant. He turns up the Jets and takes it to the house for 6 for the LeFlore Rattlers. Now it's going to be very important on this 2-point conversion that LeFlore executes without committing a penalty here on the 2-point conversion.
Right, they couldn't elude that last time, and they paid the price, didn't get the 2 points. Handoff, and he's in, but there's a flag on the play. I believe I saw some motion myself, Corey, before that.
False start going to be called against LeFlore, and like I just mentioned, they wanted to stay away from that penalty on the 2-point try because you had a great play call. It's going to be negated.
Outside offense, line up in the neutral zone.
Unfortunate for the Rattlers right there. They had the 2 points on the board and could have tied the ball game back up, so that pushes them back. And let's see what play will be called right now. Belfon running out onto the field.
The ball's going to be spotted on the 8-yard line for LeFlore of the Red Raiders. And for LeFlore, what you want to do right here is continue to get the ball into space. You've had a lot of success getting it to the short side of the field. Let's see if they go back to it.
There it is, DeAndre Petway. He's 6'4", and Corey, he hauls it in. You could see it unfold in front of your eyes. He was a man on an island down there by himself, and he brings it in. We're tied up 14-14 here at the 8:52 mark. Don't move. It's getting exciting at Lad People Stadium. It's the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
In Mobile Mobile County Public Schools, we are redefining ready. We are graduating college ready, career ready, and life ready. We are more than just a test score. We are earning college credit while in high school. We are working internships to get real-world experience. We are welders. We are certified nursing assistants. We are redefining ready.
Do you have what it takes to be an Envision graduate? We are pioneering students to be all they can be, from 6th grade all the way to 12th grade.
I definitely would recommend Envision to other students who feel the way I feel. They really work with you, and they've gotten tutors, and you have online teachers to talk to.
It starts right here. It starts right now. Envision Virtual Academy.
We are back. Deshaun Golston bringing the ball back to about the 44-yard line of the Red Raiders. And they have a great opportunity right now, Corey, to get the drive back going.
Draveen Mose made a tackle that really saved 6 for LeFlore, and that's going to be the first cramping that we see tonight on the field.
Yeah, you're right about that. Golston could have taken that one to the house, so that was a big play right there to stop that drive. And you mentioned it earlier, Corey, about cramping. As we take a look in the stands right there, former high school player, college player, NFL player, Willie Anderson, recently, Corey, a Senior Bowl ambassador.
And I think we'll probably see him at Unity in the community game tomorrow night as Blunt takes on Viger. And Willie Anderson, just a tremendous Pro Bowler. They call him AKA Stew Meat. Had an opportunity when I was in high school to watch this guy play multiple sports. He was an outstanding basketball player too, and he attributed his great footwork to being able to play football and basketball. But he runs his Willie Anderson offensive line camp and does a wonderful job.
8:41 remaining right here in the third quarter as the Red Raiders take to the field, sitting at their own 44-yard line. Just gave up the touchdown to the Rattlers as they even the ball game up 14-14. So let's see what Coach Carley and the crew have up their sleeve here, Corey. Hand off to Odom. He gets a couple. I'm sorry, not Odom on that play.
Tyreek King.
Tyreek King.
And it's a situation, again, Al, can't emphasize it enough that Clifton Powell, C.J. Powell was the starting quarterback for the Red Raiders, who's not able to play tonight due to injury. And because of it, a young man is getting his first opportunity as starting a quarterback, Victor Lopez. He took a break on that play, and Coach Carley tried to run something a little bit different, and it didn't work out. LeFlore did a good job staying at home and really was expecting it, going to bring up 2nd down and 13 yards to go for the Red Raiders.
Player down on the field right there. See if we can get a number on him. Coach Rick Carlin, the trainer out there looking at him. For the most part, Corey, it's been a well-played game. Well-played game so far tonight for both teams. Down on the field, William Blake, one of our impact players. Big guy, 6 feet, 245.
Having to play both ways and can't tell if he's cramping up either or if it's an ankle injury. He goes down on the sidelines and is looking for somebody to stretch him out. So hopefully for that young man who is an impact player, that it will be a cramp.
Take it out to the sideline, check in with Kimberly Dunn.
Hey guys, the injury that was just done on The injury that was just received on number 67 for the BC Reign team, it looked like a knee injury. He was holding his knee, acting like he was in a lot of pain, it looked like he was trying to stretch it out, maybe moving from side to side. I don't know if maybe his knee may have popped out or something like that, but it was definitely a knee injury. So I'll try to get an update on him in just a little bit.
Thank you, Kimberly. We appreciate that. Golston on the carry there, Corey, and gets into Rattler territory. The first down plus some more.
That's important that they just move the chains and keep this LeFlore defense on the field for as long as they can, because right now you talked about your good friend Uncle Mo, Al, and Uncle Mo showed up for the LeFlore Rattlers on that last drive, and now the Red Raiders trying to sustain a little momentum of their own right here at the 24-yard line.
Golston wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage. brought down by LeFlore.
Jamal Irby.
And that's a big loss right there.
Oh, that's a huge loss. If you look at Jamal Irby right there, untouched, 6'2", 220-pound senior, plays basketball also for the LeFlore Rattlers. And that just brings, you hear that doot, doot, doot sound. That's not a good one for the Red Raiders.
Backing up. Yeah, that's the wrong sound you want right there, Corey, as we approach 6 minutes here in the third quarter. 2nd and 12, as Ladd calls it, but I'm going to call it maybe about 2nd and 16. It's a long way to get to the first down marker for BC Rain. Kendrell Davis has a man out there, but it's not the guy he wants. That's Christopher Holyfield. Flags are everywhere all around that. Could this be Holyfield's second interception? He's still on his feet. Could it be his second return for a touchdown as interception? But he's brought down about the 18. But let's see if that one is coming back. And the referees appear to be walking that way.
Yeah, you have flags everywhere right around the 21, 22-yard lines. As a matter of fact, there's 3 flags down at the 21 and 23-yard lines. It's definitely going to be coming back to the spot, but it'll be interesting to see if it's going to be pass interference on the offense or pass interference on the defense.
Holyfield came up limping after that hit, Corey. Let's take a look. It should come right into your living room. That's interesting, Corey. We shall see.
I think it's going to be on Holyfield. I really do. I think the wide receiver for BC Rain, Marcus Powell, he's 5'10", 142-pound senior, tried to make a play for the football, but on the return, Holyfield runs into his own man, or he has a second pick six.
You're right, ran into his own teammate. So officials down here discussing it. And the call is going to be holding against LeFlore. So BC Rain saved right there, 2nd and 17. Now Ladd updates the info on the board, 2nd and 17. That sounds about right to me. So that should help them out.
And as we continue to go into this game, Al, late into the third quarter, you'll start to see Krantz coming in.
All right, Corey, we put it out there earlier, the game of the week, Brain Buster. We're going to see if your studying paid off. Name the 2 Rain head coaches who led their teams to the playoffs in their first year. You want to take a guess at it, Corey?
I want to say one is Anthony Schamberger.
Okay.
And the second one, I don't think Tellis Stone made the playoffs his first year.
Did not make it his first year. Arville Miller in 1988. That's about 30 years ago. Went 4-7, but he lost in the first round of the playoffs, and Coach Anthony Schamberger made it in 2003. But you're right, Corey.
Get the defense, 10 yards from the previous spot, 2nd down.
Not saying it was a trick question, but you did think about that because BC Rain did make it in Coach Stone's second year as the Red Raiders head coach.
I do remember the success that Coach Stone had. And I also remember Coach Schamberger when he had his stint at BC Rain, made a nice little run while he was on the dip and had a lot of success there. Rodney Hudson, one of his former players now in the NFL, really helped them turn that corner.
Well, Corey, we won't count it against you. We'll let you start your season off. We'll say that was just a test.
Okay,
but tomorrow right. It was a tease, but you really get the fire put on you and the test start next.
I'm going to go home and get in the playbook tonight, Al. I'm going to make sure I study my historical facts, and I'm ready to answer that Brain Buster tomorrow.
Yeah, look out tomorrow for the game of the week, Brain Buster. We'll be doing it at Blunt and Viger for the Battle of Pritchard, the Unity and Community. Looking forward to that game. Right now, it looks like we're going to have our heat timeout. Let's take a look at the 4A State Alabama Sports Writers Association. These are the preseason polls here, Corey. And let's see what we're looking at for 4A. We know that a couple teams down here had some moving around in different areas. So no surprise there. UMS Wright won the state title last year. They're at #1. Hillcrest Evergreen always competitive with them. But if you look down there at the bottom, Williamson got a couple votes, Corey. 3 other votes. So Williamson in 4A right now, so maybe they may be able to make a statement this year.
And I hope they are. I mean, you're trying to replace Roger McCreary, so we'll see if they're able to do that. But time will tell, Al.
5A preseason poll. Viger right there strong at #1 entering the poll. Very, very high. So bigs for them. Also in 5A Region 1, Jackson, right here from our area, inside the poll at number 9. So we'll be looking at Viga tomorrow as they play Blunt. See if we can get the 6A top 10 preseason poll up there. No surprise right there with Spanish Fort sitting at number 3. And also Saraland tips up at number 8 in the poll. Always competitive. Daphne got a couple votes. They're a 6A Region 1 team in our area. 27 votes, matter of fact, from getting to the top 10. So I would say probably 6A Region 1, as we said, most competitive in the state. And lastly, 7A top 10. Hoover, state champs last year, played McGill. It's like the 3rd year in a row. McGill starting off at number 4. Also getting some votes, Fairhope from our area, and Theodore right there getting one other vote. You mentioned them earlier tonight. This could be a year for Theodore and the Bobcats right there under Tyler Underwood as quarterback this season.
We got a false start. Offense.
So the Red Raiders, pre-snap penalty right there, Corey.
And you go from 3rd down and short, which was 3rd and 3 now, creates 3rd down and 8. So it totally changes the play calling ability by offensive coordinator John Williams in his first year.
Now, this is of no surprise to either of us. It's the first game, pretty much the first opportunity for some serious live action. And, you know, as they like to say, go hit somebody else besides hitting your own teammates. So a lot of these penalties are mental for the most part, but it's just a matter of working through game situations and knowing when to stay mentally focused. So no surprise that we're seeing these, and right now we have a timeout on the field, possibly at 5:44.
And Ron Coleman's going to the far sidelines.
Don't know if this is our heat timeout, but both coaches still have 3 timeouts on the board. So Ron Coleman, you're right about that, going over to talk to Coach Rick Colley at BC Reign. So maybe there's some other issues going on here. While we have a break, check into Homeroom with Renee Phillips. It's an informational conversation. You can find out inside about the schools and the classroom, what's happening right there inside Homeroom with Renee Phillips on the MCPSS TV network. So, Corey, that penalty cost the Red Raiders 3rd and 8, pushes them back. See if they can get some things going. While we got a quick chance, go down the sidelines, check in with Kimberly Dunn.
Hey guys, I just wanted to let you know while I was standing here on this sideline, this LeFlore team is so excited right now. They have come out of this locker room fired up, and these coaches on the sideline were saying things like, there's still a whole nother half to play. This game is not over yet, and we're fixing to turn this thing around, and it looks like they may be doing that. So we'll watch the rest of this game and see if this LeFlore team can, in fact, turn this game around.
You're right about that, Kimberly. Look like Kamar Thompson on that carry right there. Corey picks up a couple, but not enough for the first down.
And what's important also, back on the football field for the Red Raiders, is William Blake. It wasn't a serious knee injury, just looks like some cramps, was able to stretch it out, so he's back on that offensive line.
4th and 3, BC Reign going for it. Ball about the 27-yard line.
Ball start.
Hand off to Thompson again, and I think, Corey, you hit that one right on the head. Ball start against the Red Raiders. Second, same penalty in this series here.
10 yards on one particular drive will absolutely drive you crazy if you're a head coach, because that's a pre-snap penalty, and that's just, you know what the snap count is going in and coming out of the huddle, so you have to remain disciplined and make sure that you don't lean forward. So that's going to push the yard marker back even further now. So now you're looking at about 4th down and 8 yards to go for BC Reign to pick up the first down.
We just had 3rd and 8. They gained 5 yards, pre-snap penalty. 4th and 8, they lose the 5 yards. So Thompson still back there, but no, they hand it off to Marquez Curtis. Direct snap to Kendrell Davis, but the Rattlers read it. The wing doesn't work that time. They've made some adjustments on the defensive side of the ball, and it is turnover on downs. LeFlore with the ball.
Marquez Tatum from his defensive tackle position, the 6'3", 250-pound senior, does an outstanding job getting off of the blocker and making that tackle for LeFlore. Turnover on downs. Let's see if LeFlore is able to capitalize. Again, BC Reign has a lot of players that are playing both ways, and because of that, you start to wear down. And here with 4:31 remaining in the 3rd quarter, let's see if LeFlore can capitalize off of the success that they had on their previous drive.
Now, last year, LeFlore was a 6A team, so this would have been a region game with them now moving down to 5A. This is out of region. Some of the games going on tomorrow, Murphy, Baldwin County, Citronelle, and Washington, Theodore, and Daphne. That'll be a big game right there. Theodore 7A, Daphne 6A. Last year we watched Daphne
offense
upset, we want to call it upset early on, upset Davidson last year. That was our Thursday game last year kicking off, but the scorecard was just 3-0 over there right here at Last Stadium. So you never know how it turns out when you have these inter-squad type games or out-of-region games early in the season.
Yeah, you feel each other out in that situation. Last year it was a defensive battle, and in this situation the offensive have come alive for LeFlore. BC Rain struggling here in the second half. LeFlore is 6-8 all time against BC Rain. Would love to make it 7-8.
Javante Majors with the carry. Nice run from Majors, and he's close to the first yardage marker.
Looks like he's going to pick up 12 on that particular run. It's going to bring up now a second down and about 3 yards to go for LeFlore from their own 38-yard line. And LeFlore is trying to, again, ground and pound, be successful. You mentioned it earlier, Al. LeFlore wants to be 60-40 this year, throwing the ball to passing the ball, but they've had a lot of success running the football on their first possession of the game and here to begin the second half.
Also, one thing I noticed when they do that quick screen, little bubble screen to Holyfield, they do very well with that, setting it up with the run and getting that ball out to him. Majors once again on the carry, but he gets nowhere.
Good stop by the Red Raiders. LaKendrick Dees, the 5'8", 193-pound senior from his defensive tackle position, made sure LeFlore gained no positive yards on that play.
So third down for the Rattlers here. Drive appears as if it's trying to stall. 3rd and 3. Can they keep this thing going as we approach 3 minutes left in the third quarter? Trips at the bottom of the screen. Belfont with one back in the backfield with him with Holyfield in motion, gives it off to him. And here come the Red Raiders, Corey. They're storming in, and they wrap it up and bring him down for no gain.
He was able to get back to the line of scrimmage, and Holyfield's continued to cramp up. He's given everything he has. On the return earlier, he cramped up, but it's a situation that was 3rd down and 2. You would have liked to see LeFlore pick up that first down in order to keep the Red Raider defense on the field and not fresh. But now with the substitutions that are coming into the game, looks like LeFlore is going to pump the pigskin away.
Ricky Williams trying to flip the field for the Rattlers here if he can. And back to receive for BC Rain. Looks like we have Kendrell Davis. Williams' punt is tipped at the line. It is tipped. That's a live ball right there. But the Rattlers are going to down it at about the 35-yard line. So they catch a break. The ball goes forward after the tip, Corey.
Yeah, that's one of those that you're glad that the pigskin goes end over end and gives you a positive bounce. We're tied up here at 14 apiece, Al, with the time that's remaining in the third quarter, which is 2:01. BC Rain really needs to put together a situation to where they move the sticks and are able to keep this LeFlore defense on the field for a while.
Here come the Red Raiders out on the offense, but also we got to thank the folks over there for Jersey Mike's and Sub. They came on for us. Great Easter night for the crew, authentic sub since 1956. Corey, I have to say, it's a sub above.
No doubt about it, Al. You have Mark and Christina Sinclair, who are the owners of the Jersey Mike's franchises here along the Gulf Coast. Just want to thank them tremendously.
So 1st and 10 for the Red Raiders. And they're on the move right there. Golston trying to turn the corner. Looked like a possible face mask, but no flags come in there as the Rattlers try to bring him down. We'll give him credit for maybe about 3 or 4 on that play.
And that's going to be Derek Dugans on the stop for the LeFlore Rattlers. The very active linebacker. We've called his name all night long. He's an impact player for LeFlore without a shadow of a doubt. But positive yards were gained for the Red Raiders on first down.
And that's something that they need, Corey. Last drive that they had opportunity moving forward, but kept going backwards with those pre-snap penalties. So keeping it consistent right now should be huge for the Red Raiders with another direct snap as they keep it going On that snap right there for BC Rain, Tyreek King, once again, he gets a couple, keeps it going forward, trying to stay ahead of the chains.
You talked about the consistency of the offensive line and how big BC Rain's offensive line was. That's one of the things that Rick Cawley talked about during media days, which was the strength of his team that he noticed right off of the bat was the offensive line and their durability.
Right, 268 across that front line, and LeFlore only 233 on the defensive front that they run with that 4-3. So BC Rain has the manpower to make it happen. We're under 1 minute here remaining in the third quarter, and it's third and a critical one for BC Rain, and no brought down, not a horse collar, but brought down for that tackle behind the line of scrimmage. There's your guy, Marquez Tatum, Corey.
Marquez said he wants to lead the state of Alabama in sacks, but he'll take a tackle for loss on that particular play as he did a good job of slanting down the defensive line, shredding the offensive player on the play and go ahead and making a tremendous tackle for loss.
Referee Ryan Coleman signaling, giving LeFlore a sideline warning right now, as it is 4th and 4 for the Red Raiders. Back to punt for them, Justin Ray. And Mr. Excitement, Christopher Holyfield for LeFlore, sets up at his own 33, maybe 32-yard line. Here's the punt. Directly, not Holyfield on that one.
J. Allen Gray.
J. Allen Gray. And in come the flags, Corey.
And it can be a possibility of a holding or a face mask. I think you can take your pick as to what the field judge saw on that particular play, but he threw it right around the 32-yard line, and Ron Coleman's going to come over and see exactly what happened on the play.
And seeing J. Allen Gray out there right now, maybe giving Holyfield a rest. He's been doing a lot, possibly saw him cramping up. He's playing two ways tonight, so this is huge for LeFlore. You don't want to use the guy up as we approach the fourth quarter. No time on the clock. Let's see if they will give
illegal
LeFlore
blocking the back, doing the return. 10-yard from the spot of the foul, first down.
And see if they will give them one play or we'll just call it fourth quarter here. So LeFlore being pushed back with the block and the back penalty. Another mental mistake for the Rattlers.
And it's not the situation you wanted to have positive yards. BC Rain is definitely able to flip the field now, and LeFlore will take over deep in their own territory as Ron Coleman and the crew are getting ready to figure out where they want to spot the football. And it looks like it's going to be called officially the end of the third quarter.
That wraps up three quarters. We're notched up 14-14. Come back for the last 12 exciting minutes of the first game of the season. It's the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Welcome back to the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. I'm Al Wheaton, joined by Corey LeBounty. Down on the sidelines is Kimberly Dunn, and Corey, we're tied up 14-14. Not a very exciting third quarter, only one score there, but right now it's anybody's ball game.
It is. It's going to come down to conditioning now. We talked about having the whole summer an opportunity to get in shape and know your team. You're basically at 0-0, a push on the board, and it's going to be interesting to see if LeFlore is able to run the football. They threw the ball to move the ball down the field, and BC Rain has struggled offensively.
Right.
LeFlore has figured out that running game. As we start here in the fourth quarter, LeFlore is going to have an opportunity to drive the length of the field.
Hezekiah Belfun back, sophomore. This is only his second high school football game. Last year he started the first game and had an injury and had to sit out the rest of the year. So think about that, Corey. He was a freshman starting for the Rattlers last year, but Coach Schamberger kept his confidence, brought him back. He's a sophomore, And so far, he's done pretty well for the most part, but I do know they want to get some more completions and build his confidence up tonight.
Yeah, you've seen the completions come to Chris Holyfield in the flat on the little flat bubble screens or the little flare passes, and that's something that gives your quarterback confidence. But he had a lot of success on the 7-on-7 this summer, throwing the deep ball and the jump ball to his favorite wide receiver out there is DeAndre Petway.
Speaking of Petway, he's at the top of the screen. Isolation coverage on him. Belfont looking to get it to him. He does connect to him, catches him in stride, Corey. That's a first down ball at the 40-yard line.
And that's exactly who he tried to go to early and often in the first and second quarters. Just weren't able to come away with those completions. But after that jump ball, two-point conversion, he's now found a lot of success. Just fakes the handoff, takes a little two-step drop, finds the slant across the middle of the field, and he lets his wide receiver do the rest.
Belfont looking at the risk, getting the play together, discussing it with the guys. It is a new look offense for the Rattlers as we started off the game talking about it tonight. Past couple of years, they've been run heavy. Dewan James ran for over 1,000 yards back-to-back seasons. 1 year over 1,300 yards. So this is definitely a different look for the Rattlers. Belfont trying to escape, heads up the middle, and does a little dash there. Jumps out to about the 45-yard line. Says most people say his game reminds him of Cam Newton. Kind of had that Cam Newton dash there, Corey.
Marquise Powell comes on the blitz for the Red Raiders, and Belfont was able to step up in the pocket and avoid the blitzing player and was able to gain positive yards on first down.
Second and about 5 here for the Rattlers. Trying to get to the midfield stripe. The yard to make is the 50-yard line exactly to pick up this first down as we approach under 10 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter. Little quick screen brought down immediately by the Red Raiders.
Trent Odom with the reception for LeFlore. And in that situation, when you do have those quick throws, your other wide receiver has to pick up a block, because if he doesn't, he's going to be tackled exactly where he catches the football. That was a great open field tackle by the Red Raiders. Number 20, LaFrance McCants, the defensive back at 5'6", 145 pounds, makes the stop.
Just noticed one of the running backs for the Rattlers who's been running a lot tonight, Javonte Majors, heads to the sideline, tugging at his shoulder there. So hopefully he's okay. He's been a big contributor. Third down for the Rattlers. Let's see where they take this ball right here. Up the middle it goes. Struggling for yards, and that appears to be enough for the first down. The chain should move there, Corey.
No flag on the play. It will be positive yards, and the sticks will move for the LeFlore Rattlers as they cross midfield.
Like Holyfield on the carry. Don't forget, tomorrow night, it's a big one. It's the MCPSS Game of the Week as we take it over to Pritchard for the Battle of Pritchard with Blunt and Viger. Corey, that will be an absolute electrifying atmosphere at Pritchard Municipal Stadium.
The tradition of that game, there'll probably be over 10,000 people. They'll start tailgating tomorrow around 7 a.m. Can't wait.
It'll be standing room only. And could this one be trying to connect with DeAndre Petway? Flags come out. Let's see what the call is going to be. Possibly could be interference. Petway is 6'4", Corey, so let's see what the call is. Was he impeding the defender from trying to make opportunity for the ball?
He pushed off.
And that is offensive interference, Corey.
As we take a look at the replay, Belfont goes to his secondary wide receiver, and the camera angle shows that he tried to do a little swim move above the defender and gets caught pushing off. Does Petway. It's going to cost the LeFlore Rattlers some valuable yardage as they cross midfield. Ron Coleman will tell us all about it.
Offensive pass interference. 10-yard penalty. Replay first down.
LaTrance McCants on the coverage right there, Corey. He's only 5'6", so you could say maybe the height of Petway made that one look as if it was all against him. And that's how they called it. That pushes the Rattlers back.
Big time penalty, because now you're looking at, instead of being in a great yardage down and distance situation, now you're going to have to do something that you're not comfortable with. You don't want to run a draw here. Another quick throw is what you have to rely on your wide receivers to block downfield for you.
There it is, getting it to the money maker, Christopher Holyfield. A little screen there, but he doesn't get any help on the blocks at all. McCants loses his helmet. I've seen a lot of Red Raiders losing their helmets tonight, Corey, but he's in on the tackle, and that's a no-gainer for LeFlore.
The biggest thing, Al, is Aaron Dortch and Genesis Dortch have to make sure that they're blocking the cornerbacks in that situation. If they don't block them, that little screen and bubble play is not going to work and be effective. Instead, it's probably going to lose yardage, and there'll be a timeout on the play.
Anthony Schamberger calls a timeout. So let's take a look at some 4A standings right here in the area if you want to call a reclassification. Take a look at the region here as we get the season started. As LeFlore takes a timeout. Nice shot of Lad Peoples Stadium right there. So here's your 4A Region 1. As you can see, Andalusia, Clark County, Escambia, Monroe County, UMS Wright, #1 in the state, and champs last year. 3 teams moving to this region, Corey, 1 out of 5A and 2 from 3A.
Makes a huge difference, but the defending state champion, UMS Wright, when you add a tough Williamson team, a tough Clark County and Hillcrest team,
right,
4A is not going to be a cakewalk for anyone.
It's not at all. Let's see if we can try to swing it over to 5A. Take a look at that region, kind of reformulated a bit. Citronelle, Faith Academy, Jackson already there. Talked about it earlier. LeFlore moves down, and moving up is Satsuma from 4A.
That's a huge move for the Gators, and Coach Ray Nelson is doing a wonderful job with that program. But LeFlore moving down to 5A, Coach Schamberger feels a lot more comfortable with this team from a depth standpoint, playing 5A versus 6A football.
See if we can try to squeeze 6A in here right quick before the play gets off. And there it is right there. The move across the area. We know about everything going on behind it. The competitive balance basically putting St. Paul's into 5A and LeFlore dropping down to 6A. This, by far, Corey, they're pretty much the toughest region in the state of Alabama.
I agree. There's going to be, at the end of the year, 2 good teams that are going to be left out of the playoffs. There's only 4 teams make it in.
2nd and 18 for the Rattlers here. Belfont has a man, cannot get it to him. Ball is too low for Holyfield. He had him, but thrown behind him and too low. Let's take a look at the 7A Region 1 here in our area. No movement, no changes, everything's the same right there. But will it remain the same this season, Corey? Could this be the year that someone gets that region win against McGill, or could this be the year that Mary Montgomery gets a win? They had an offer last year.
Yeah, and it's a situation that if you're a Viking fan, you know that you don't have anywhere to go but up. So you're very, very optimistic coming in, trying to break that losing streak. That's what the kids are working hard for. But 7A is always a tough region to play in. There's no gimmies each and every week.
It is. So we shall see as the season develops. We'll have coverage throughout all the different regions and classifications, so make sure you stick with us here for the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Christopher Holyfield on the move, Corey. This guy's exciting. Look at him go. He has the first down, pretty much does it all by himself. What a run, because the Rattlers were backed up at 3rd and 18. They were in a hole.
Almost a 20-yard run by Holyfield, and what starts to happen is you look at Holyfield go around the end. He hits a spin button right here on the defender, but you see the Red Raiders not being able to wrap him up. That's a sign of fatigue, folks. Anytime you get late into the 4th quarter, when you have players playing both ways, and you look at Holyfield, he's had an opportunity to play both ways also, but had a little bit more juice, and now LeFlore is looking to go tempo.
That is, he's trying to get it out to DeAndre Petway. Cannot connect with him. Little contact, but no flag from the official. So it's 2nd down and 10 for the Rattlers. Let's talk about Holyfield again, Corey. He wasn't one of your impact players, but he has had an impact tonight for the Rattlers.
Yeah, Coach Schamberger spoke about the speed. As you look at the instant replay, just about 1.5 yards too far out of the outstretched arms of DeAndre Petway. And I like how Coach Schamberger on that play, Al, quickly after they had something positive happen, go tempo. And unfortunately on that play, as they tried to go tempo, you had a Rattler be offsides.
As we see now, the ball is coming back, so it all would have been for naught if it was complete. So it'll set up now 1st and 15. I wonder if Coach Schamberger will go over the top again. Kind of has the Red Raiders on the ropes right now in their territory. 7:33 remaining. We only had one overtime contest on the MCPSS Game of the Week last year, Corey. I wonder if we'll start the season off that way. We're notched up at 14-14. And let's see what's going to happen. Belfon escapes the pocket, does have a guy in the middle. It's DeAndre Petway, his favorite receiver. Gets him back some positive yardage. Big gain right there, so it'll give him about a 2nd and 4, maybe 2nd and 5.
I like the patience of Belfon because if you look on the replay, he scrambles out of the pocket to his right. He's waiting, was going to take off and run, and then just found his favorite wide receiver, his target. But what's going to have to happen is ball security is going to be very important because after you make the rack yards, the run after catch, you have to make sure that you keep that ball tight to your body. That way you're not creating a turnover.
A little closer than I thought. Let's give him credit. Maybe 2nd and 3. Great run after the catch right there by Petway. Belfon working through his progressions tonight. There's Javante Majors back in the game. Is that enough for the first down? Let's see where they mark it. He's close.
Does a good job of hitting the hole very hard, and good tackle by the Red Raiders. Number 19 on the play. It's going to be Cortarian Davis with the stop, and it's going to be enough to move the chains for LeFlore.
6:30 remaining here in the 4th quarter. So both of these teams will benefit from the heat timeout at the next dead ball, if you want to call it. They'll sneak a timeout in, basically. Belfon going for it over the top and all over Petway was LaTrance McCants, and Corey, they're letting them duke it out right now.
I like the mano-a-mano situation because Belfon knew exactly where he wanted to go, which was to his favorite wide receiver, and if he would have took a little bit of air out of that ball, would have had an opportunity for a jump ball situation, and at 6'4", we know Petway's probably going to win that.
2nd and 10 for the Rattlers just inside the red zone. And they are definitely airing it out. Not your father's LeFlore Rattlers offense. And look at there, Corey, up the middle and in for a touchdown. Javante Majors. 18-yard touchdown for Javante Majors.
That's huge for the LeFlore Rattlers. Is now you look at this situation when we're able to go at the instant replay. What a great counter. He comes across. The offensive line does a great job of put a hat on hat. Majors does the rest. Give him 6 points. And now the LeFlore Rattlers take their first lead of the game.
And as I say, it's not your father's Rattlers offense. What do? They go back to the run game, Corey. Shame on me. Rattlers on the field for 2 right now. Majors cannot weave his way, Corey. Well, LeFlore on top, 20-14 at the 6:15 mark. It's really getting exciting now. Don't move. We'll be back with more action. It's the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
I'm Ashley Rich, District Attorney. Today I want to talk to you about a program that we at the District Attorney's Office has with the Mobile County Public School Systems to help with the bullying issues that are going on in today's world because of social media and because our young people think it's okay to bully others. It's not okay to bully others. Bullying is repeated verbal and physical abuse, ongoing verbal and physical abuse. We at the Mobile County District Attorney's Office want to help the community, we want to help the public school system, and we want to stop bullying within our community. It's really, really important that we do so. And parents need to be responsible if their child is either being bullied or if their child is a bully. Parents need to be involved to stop the bullying or to help the child if they are being bullied. And we at the Mobile County District Attorney's Office and the Mobile County Public School System are also here to help.
There's a kickoff by Ricky Williams, taken by Kentrell Davis, and he is wrapped up just in front of the 30-yard line. As we are at the 6:06 mark, and BC Rain has the ball, Corey, and flags are just being thrown everywhere after this play.
Has to be a dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct penalty because Ron Coleman quickly dropped that yellow flag, and he's going to now come up with this call and let us know who it's going to be called against.
Got a dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct, red.
So this call going against the Rattlers. Maybe here it is, Corey. It looks like a little melee, a little Donnybrook, a little extra action going on after. Oh,
he
no.
threw the ball at
Yeah,
him.
yeah, that's it right there.
That's going to be Madison Reed throwing the ball.
That'll get you a flag
at the Red Raiders,
every day.
Kentrell Davis,
right
in front of the white hat and Ron Coleman, and that's a big no-no. And it's going to cost the LeFlore Rattlers 15 yards. And in that situation, you just have to discipline yourself and just have cooler head and just walk away from it, because now the Red Raiders, instead of being on their own close to 30-yard line, they're going to be on their own 45-yard line.
Sitting very nice right here with the clock and all 3 timeouts in their back pocket, Corey. Airing it out, the Red Raiders, Tyreek King, and that's intercepted by Corey. Guess who? Christopher Holyfield. This guy is everywhere, man. He's like Visa.
Second interception of the contest, but the big thing for the Red Raiders is you didn't have Victor Lopez in at quarterback. You had Tyreek King, who put a lot of air onto that pass. As he looks and drops back to pass, it's pretty much a jump ball. The LeFlore defender, Holyfield, goes up and high points the football, has a great return. He plays a little point guard for the LeFlore Rattlers basketball team also, and you see him out trying to direct traffic for LeFlore, but another costly turnover for the Red Raiders. We saw a pick 6 earlier that Holyfield had, and now he's going to go to the sidelines with those cramps.
Got to stretch it out. We have a heat timeout, and Holyfield needs it right now, Corey. This guy is all over the field, 5'10", 175 pounds. Wow. So you can see him right there trying to work out that cramp, Corey, but he's definitely leaving it. He's not leaving anything on the field tonight. Let's go down the sidelines, check in with Kimberly Dunn.
Hey, when I spoke with this LeFlore team at the beginning of the game and even coming into this second half, one of the things that Coach said that was going to set them apart and bring them to that victory is them finishing every play and playing to the finish and getting in better shape and not giving up even if the points are tied or different or whatever may be going on. And that's exactly what we're seeing this team doing. They are not just playing and taking that victory, but they are going above and beyond and getting motivated and continuing to excel throughout this game, so we will see who pulls out this win tonight.
We appreciate that, Corey. I must say, with what I write down here, 5:50 remaining in the ball game, I was a bit surprised and shocked at Coach calling him airing it out on the first down.
Yeah, and especially shocked that Tyreek King was the one who was airing it out. And Coach Cawley talked about, hey, look, I've got linebackers playing quarterback. That's because their starting quarterback, C.J. Powell, was injured in practice and unable to play tonight, which gave Victor Lopez the start. We saw him start early, but now the LeFlore Rattlers taking all over at their own 46-yard line.
Bill Fonten, I formation. First time we've seen it tonight. Javante Major stopped right at about the line of scrimmage, maybe took a 1-yard loss. But if you know Coach Anthony Schamberger the way we do, you know what's about to happen right now, Corey. Up by 6 with 5 to play, it's ball control time.
He definitely wants to take the air out of the football, and that's one of the, again, I've talked about it all game long. It's a situation that Coach Cawley was concerned about. Getting his team off of the field, being able to shrink the football game, not allowing LeFlore to have a lot of ball control. But you know Coach Schamberger, having the first lead of tonight's contest, feels very comfortable with his offense here in the second half.
Major's down on the field. On that last series when LeFlore had the ball, I saw him take himself out of the ball game. So wonder if it's the cramps or it's not his shoulder. It possibly could be the cramps. Tomorrow, make sure you check us out on the MCPSS TV network once again. It's a big one, boy. Blunt versus Viger, the Battle of Pritchard. Unity in the community. You can enjoy it, but also you can even watch it on our affiliates, Comcast Channel 15, ATT Uverse Channel 99, Roku boxes, MCPSS TV, TheWire.com. Corey, we're going to be everywhere tomorrow night. I'm just so glad we have a little room at the top of the press box, even on MediaCom 81. It's standing room only tomorrow in Pritchard.
It will be exciting. You'll have the grills going early in the morning till late night. It will be at the top of the press box, having the best seat in the house, getting ready to watch two traditional programs battle it out. And this is a rivalry that goes back. It used to be played at the end of the season, but coming off of the ropes in week 1, can't wait.
Sure did. 2nd and 10 for the Rattlers here. Clock moving in that I formation. DeAndre Petway in motion. Hands it off once again. Holyfield, he's stripped out. It looks like a Rattler fell on it, though.
That's huge ball security for LeFlore. Coach Schamberger does want to try to chew up a lot of this clock and bleed a lot of the clock, but the one thing that you have to make sure that you do is have ball security. Coach Schamberger is going to put the ball into his best player's hand, which is Chris Holyfield, and the LeFlore Rattlers were able to come away with it. It looks like Genesis Dortch fell on top of the football.
Sure did, sure did. He was in the right place at the right time there, but the clock continues to move. It is 3rd and 8. So a big call right here for Coach Schamberger and the Rattlers. Approaching 4 minutes here remaining in the ball game as the clock ticks. 4:15 remains. LeFlore up by 6.
3rd down and a long 8 yards to go. Coach Schamberger, again, probably going to call timeout to make sure he has his team composed.
So the Rattlers take a timeout right now, playing the chess match, as you like to call it, Corey. Let a little clock run out and just burn the timeout and come up with a good play. 3rd and 8 right here.
Well, the good thing is your defense has not given up any second-half points, as we were knotted up at 14 apiece coming out of halftime. So you have to be happy if you're Coach Schamberger, knowing that you can put it on the foot of your punter if you're not able to get this 1st down right here. So if you're the Red Raiders, you know offensively you're on the sidelines trying to collect your thoughts, thinking ahead. But if you're the LeFlore Rattlers, you know that the Red Raiders, if you run this football, are going to have to stop the clock. You're able to bleed even more time by punting the football and make the Red Raiders hopefully drive the length of the field. So we're going to have a fantastic finish no matter how you look at it, Al.
You're right about that, Corey. As we get ready to wrap this thing up, great season headed your way with the MCPSS TV network. We've been waiting for it all year, so great way to start it off right now. And always keep it safe. Join Andy Howard, Curtis Graves. Learn how you can be safe and secure with our schools. They talk with school officials, community leaders on how to keep our kids safe in school. It's Safe Schools with Andy Howard and Curtis Graves on the MCPSS TV network. All right, Corey, what's the call right here? You were pretty good last season on these very crucial calls.
You're 3rd down and 8. You're looking at the timeout situation for the Red Raiders. They have 3 timeouts remaining. You want them to have to try to burn one. So you definitely want to run the football and have ball security, because if you throw it, I just think it'll stop the clock.
Petway at the bottom of the screen, and there it is, the Mr. Excitement, Christopher Holyfield. Corey, he gets the 1st down, and look at him go. Oh, my goodness. Wow. I think you had your thumb on the Xbox there, Corey. I mean, on the X button.
He did. I mean, he mashed the circle button. And that's a gutsy play call by the LeFlore Rattlers, because if that pass is incomplete, it does stop the clock. But you're looking at LeFlore now, and Schamberger, Coach Schamberger is the offensive coordinator, and he puts the ball into his dynamic playmaker, Holyfield, who has had 2 interceptions tonight as a defensive back and is now playing wide receiver. So we know somebody that's going to sleep real good tonight for the LeFlore Rattlers.
Some nice misdirection on that play right there. Good call for the Rattlers, but also no flag score. They didn't shoot themselves in the foot. So that's huge for LeFlore, as we are at 3:40 remaining in the ball game, and the Rattlers in the red zone trying to put the nail in the coffin and put one in the end zone right here. Holyfield gets about 2 or 3 as the line stops him maybe about the 10-yard line. Coach Carley not calling timeouts, Corey. Interesting.
And he may be looking to save them to try to get deep on 2nd or 3rd down, trying to stop the clock. But it's going to be important that the Red Raiders do not give up a 1st down or a touchdown, because a touchdown will salt the game away for the LeFlore Rattlers. But you could probably look for the Red Raiders after this play right here to call timeout.
The Floor fans are excited. Some future Major Reds and flag girls right there enjoying the fun. 1st and 10 right now for the Rattlers. Belfon letting that play clock run down, approaching 10 seconds. Goes up top. He finally connected with him, Corey. DeAndre Petway, they had a 2-point conversion earlier. It hasn't been signaled yet.
It is a touchdown.
But it is a
for
touchdown.
The Rattlers.
But Corey, I must say, I have not seen one official signal a touchdown yet.
And you look at the mismatch in this situation, and Belfon throws an outstanding football, and LaFrance McCants, the defensive back, is no match. 5'6" versus 6'3". As long as he keeps the ball in play and gives him green turf to catch it in and not out of bounds, you know he's going to go up and make that catch. My good buddy Kervin Lane compares this young man to Reginald Todd. That's a huge comparison, and I think it's very fair because this young man is a sophomore and just made an outstanding catch and has great leaping ability.
Sure done. Tied up there at Mississippi State. Right now, we're taking a break. LaFleur on top, 26-14. It's the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
I believe that the quality of education that I received at the Mobile County Public School system, I would give it an A+, an excellent education. And I feel that they prepared me for my future career. I feel that I received not only the fund of knowledge that I need, but the social skills, communication skills that's needed to compete with any other student, not just in Mobile County particularly, but nationwide.
Welcome back to the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Ricky Williams about to kick this one off for LaFleur out to BC Rain. Corey, I'm a bit surprised Coach Carley didn't burn any timeouts to try to save some time. He was only down 6 points before that last Rattler touchdown.
I agree, and what's interesting now is the situation, well, it's been a tale of two halves. We talked about it at halftime to where Hezekiah Belfon was going to have to be able to throw the football effectively, and the LaFleur Rattlers were going to have to find that balance. But here in the second half, they've really been able to do that. Hezekiah has found Holyfield on some quick bubble screens and some slants, has also found his favorite wide receiver, DeAndre Petway, early and often. So the balance has been there. The two key playmakers have been identified for LaFleur offensively. Let's see if they can keep it up and try to salt this game away.
BC Rain somewhat taking their time to get on the field here. As they come out. Down 12 points with 2:29 to play here in the ball game. And first time we've seen this formation, looks more traditional. Trips at the top, Corey. No one in the backfield. Tyreek King throws that one out to Curtis. It is incomplete. Second down for the Red Raiders, kind of back against the wall, and LaFleur knows they have to throw the ball to stay in the ball game, as a matter of fact.
And one of the things the Red Raiders have to do is continue to believe that the game's not over, because with the quick score and the onside kick, you can be right back in it. And it's something that I know each and every team practices on is special teams play on the onside kick situation. So if LaFleur lets down their guards at all, with time remaining on this clock at 2:23, the Red Raiders still have time to score.
Hand off to Marquez Curtis, and that goes nowhere, Corey. As we approach 2 minutes remaining in the ball game, have to take a personal shout out to my crew over there at Lucy's Barbershop. Corey, got my hair cut yesterday. Xavier Lucy cuts my hair. He's a guy from the Dip, goes to BC Rain. Well, his colleague right next to him for years, Harold McCarroll, he went to LaFleur.
Good
so
trash talk.
They don't have a
barbershop.
little wager, but a little trash talk was going on in the barbershop yesterday. So both of the guys at the game tonight, man. So got to support high school athletics. It's huge.
Without a doubt, Al. High school football is back. We're excited about this 2018 season on the MCPSS network.
That ball incomplete for King. It was 3rd and 15. And it was pressure all over him to release that from the Rattlers.
And that's the type of pressure that LaFleur, with the lead now, is able to apply. And they didn't take the lead here until the second half, Al. Late in the third quarter, maybe early in the fourth is when they took that first lead, and that's huge for LeFlore, once Coach Schamberger was able to secure and get that lead, his team just played with a different set of confidence.
4th and 15 right now, pretty much coming down to this play for the Red Raiders at this juncture. A little movement right there before the ball was snapped.
And I would be interested to see what happened to Victor Lopez, because we haven't seen him in the second half. And I'm not quite sure. I haven't been able to find or locate him on the sidelines without his helmet, so not quite sure why that quarterback change was made. I do see him on the sideline, so he's standing directly behind Coach Cawley, but it's all or nothing right here now for the Red Raiders as they're facing 4th and a mile, and if they're not able to convert here, LeFlore is just going to take a knee.
Kendrell Davis takes it directly and gets nowhere right there, 4th down. So pretty much the Rattlers can come out and get in victory formation, Corey, and if they can hold on with no miscues, what a victory this would be. The last time LeFlore won back-to-back games was in 2015 when it beat Robertsdale and Citronelle. So it's been a long time for the Rattlers to get some back-to-back wins there. So this would be huge coming with their last win last season.
Yeah, LeFlore, again, came in 6-8 all time versus BC Rain, won 22-10 here against the Red Raiders last year, and LeFlore averaged 15.8 points per game last year, and right here in tonight's contest, they've already put up 26 points. So it's just a great way to start the season for LeFlore, having that deficit, having to find a way to battle back, and they're just going to salt this game away.
Yeah, I'm with you on the number, Corey. If you look at, they actually flipped it around. You talked about 15.8 averaging. They gave up 14, but last year the defense gave up 26, and look at the Rattlers putting up 26 tonight. So you could kind of say the tale of two teams within 2 back-to-back seasons for the Rattlers so far. It's only the first game.
Sure. And you're talking about a LeFlore team that is going to play versus Williamson next week, so it's another non-region contest, and the Rattlers are going to look to stay healthy and improve, but the Red Raiders and Coach Cawley taking over this program late hit the LeFlore Rattlers earlier in the mouth.
They did.
We came away at halftime tied at 14, and the Red Raiders were playing without their starting quarterback to begin this game and started playing with a lot of confidence. In the second and third quarter, just kind of went downhill for the Red Raiders.
Flags on the play right here before the Rattlers could get it off. So this will push the Rattlers back. So that pushed the Rattlers back about 5 yards. But at this point with the clock running, maybe about a 10-second difference, so the Rattlers will have to have one last snap, and there it is, Corey, getting close to the victory formation. Belfon takes a knee. And that should about do it.
Good win for the LeFlore Rattlers, starting the season off 1-0. Our coach Anthony Schamberger and his team showed a lot of resilience and a lot of heart in coming away with this win.
They did, 26-14. LeFlore pretty much making a statement in the second half, coming back, Corey, as they were down and we got notched up, and it turned out to be the Christopher Holyfield show.
Yeah, they outscored the Red Raiders 12-0 in the second half, and Hezekiah Belfon, the young quarterback who really had his first opportunity to get a lot of reps for the LeFlore Rattlers after having an injury last season and sitting out almost the entire season, really took control of this team in the second half, finding his favorite receiver in Petway, DeAndre Petway, and they started running the football a little bit better in Majors, and you just saw the fatigue kind of hit the Red Raiders late in the fourth quarter, and LeFlore was kind of able to implement their will on them.
Belfon throws for 124 yards tonight, but the man of the evening, Christopher Holyfield, 2 interceptions, 1 for a touchdown, and Corey, he had a 44-yard touchdown run. It was 4th and 12, man.
That was huge. A 4th down and 12. The Rattlers not able to convert, not only able to convert, but score a touchdown out of it also, Al. And to me, that was the difference in the game.
It absolutely was. We're waiting for Kimberly Dunn to catch up with winning coach Anthony Schamberger. Make sure you check us out tomorrow night. We'll be having Blunt and Viger for the Battle of Pritchard. That's going to be huge. But tonight, it was a great game. Kind of had a little lull in the third quarter, but it all paid off in the fourth quarter with some excitement, Corey.
Yeah, you look at what LeFlore had to do. They had to rattle the Red Raiders defensively. They were able to do that in the second half and get that shutout. They had to have a prevention of penalties. There were a lot of flags, but none that cost them really a touchdown play here or there. And they also had to show that special teams had improved. They were able to do that in the second half.
Let's take it down to the field with winning coach Anthony Schamberger.
I'm here with the winning coach from LeFlore. Coach, what did you think about your team's performance tonight?
I thought that was very, very mentally tough tonight. We could have easily got a win in the tank after the first half, but they didn't do that. They came out and fought. We've been preaching 4 quarters, and they did exactly that tonight.
So what are some things that your team needs to improve on for next week's game?
Well, I think we'll polish up on the mental errors and just the first game jitters, and a lot of my guys just had some, just some tough times tonight, but they overcame it, and we ended up getting the victory tonight.
Yes, well, congratulations on the win, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Winning coach Anthony Schamberger down there with Kimberly Dunn. Corey, he's right about that. They could have went to the tank, but they fought back.
Yeah, mentally tough is something that the LeFlore Rattlers are going to need each and every game throughout the season. They dropped down in classification to 5A. Were able to come away with a huge win tonight over the Red Raider program.
All right, that's going to wrap it up for tonight. But tomorrow it is going down in Pritchard, the Battle of Pritchard, and we will be there for Blunt and Viger. So we hope that you join us. For Corley Bounty, Kimberly Dunn, I'm Al Wheaton, Quentin Howard, and the entire MCPSS TV production crew. Thanks for joining us. LeFlore gets the win 26-14 as we start off another season of the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Good night.